LCOHOL.
What does that spell? Local?
Alcohol.
Oh, alcohol. Nice. Locals only. Welcome to Hive Scum. You're here, the bird watching podcast for the 28 community, the landscaping podcast for the 28 community. We have a special guest, Steve, the landscaper, here.
How's it going?
Steve was outside busting up as much weeds as he possibly could with his weed whacker and just having so much fun busting up his weeds. And
whack those weeds.
You really do. And actually, you know what? This is an extermination podcast as well.
Exterminatus.
Yeah.
Phil, you should start your own company called Exterminatus. Have it real tongue-in-cheek.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder the type of people you
I
get
know.
with that.
The 1% of people who'd be like, yeah, this is the only reason I hired you.
Or just dudes who love old fucking Latin and they're like, oh, this is sick. Please kill all the bugs in my house.
Oh, yeah, Hive Scum is back. You freaks. You wanted more, and so we're giving it to you. And we're at Steve's house, so he's not going to be sniffling today.
No sniffles.
I know that the fans will miss the sniffs. All 3 fans will miss the sniffles, but so we apologize in advance for Steve. He doesn't sound congested, probably. And
Final Fantasy 16 out yet?
No.
Okay, so
Wait, we're on 16 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game ever before.
You're all right.
Well, there's more
That's
than
what I feel.
16 of them.
But some of them are like tactics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they play very differently. I mean, it's been going on since, well over 30 years.
Tactics is the best one.
That's what I heard. That's the only one I've seen people
play. It's
play.
a different fucking game, though.
Right? Yeah.
And it also only has that, like, cool guy appeal to it because
it rocks?
Sorry, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm basing this on absolutely nothing. I feel like saying any individual, making a hard statement out of well over 16 games, saying this one is the best is just automatically
Yeah, culture snob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Mario RPG is better than any of them. So.
Correct.
Now, that's another game I've never played, but I've not played a lot of games. But people love that.
Super Mario RPG,
You can come up with your own levels or some shit.
Legend
Or
of the
that's
7
Builder.
Stars.
Legend of the 7 Stars. That's a
Yeah.
fucking great-ass title.
You got to get the 7 stars.
So we're officially announcing
Da-da-da-da.
the beginning of Hive Scum episode 1 will be on YouTube. Probably before this goes live.
Yeah, so go revisit those episodes.
Mostly so when we are specifically talking about visual elements, we can have them on screen for you to see.
Which is a lot of times we just talk about visual stuff, and you have to do a lot of the legwork, and now
Yeah.
you won't have to because Gage is putting in the legwork for you.
It's definitely not everybody, people listen to this podcast while they're hobbying. We're not important enough that they're going to stop what they're doing,
We're here for the YouTubers.
pick their phone up and go, oh, what artist was Phil talking about? Let me look it up right now.
I don't know. I think that they do.
I don't really talk about artists.
You do. You were talking
minus
about
the
that
episode-
Hyperborea one.
Yes.
I will say, anytime
Oh,
I
yeah.
listen
Conan
to,
shit. Steve,
anytime
put
I
the
listen to a
face
on shit.
podcast,
To the
different.
mic.
anytime I listen to a podcast where people are referencing something I have no idea about, but it sounds interesting, I will go Google it on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I listen to podcasts while I work, and all of my work takes me twice as long as it takes anyone else to do because I constantly just stop doing whatever I'm doing and just look up whatever people are talking about.
Yeah, see, people love looking stuff up.
Correct. Now, if you listen to the podcast on YouTube,
Oh,
it's already there.
the work has been done for
Exactly.
you. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Steve is currently bashing live.
Live bash.
Yeah, he's
We
doing
can-
a live
you can get a
bash.
photo of this.
Yeah, yeah. See,
What
Photo.
is that
Good.
for? Is that for the Brothers Prometheum?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
It's a shitty looking little tank.
Yeah, Steve has really taken off on the brothers. He's done a lot of cool stuff. No spoilers. I won't give any spoilers, but
There's really no spoilers to give. I mean,
Did we talk about the Brothers of Prometheum on the podcast
Yeah.
before?
last time I was talking about what we did hobby wise, and I was like, oh,
Yes,
I
your
painted up a
story.
couple of brothers, and then I quickly said the kind of basis for the story, and but yeah, it's kind of grown from there. We won't mention too much.
I took it and ran with it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
I think
talk
it-
about
you
I
have,
mean, it's done.
There's some great ideas though, but even just lore wise, you came up with
there's-
some great ones.
There's so
Steve, I'm
much
going to
good
say
stuff.
something right now. This, I understand, is doing things for your brain, but you are nowhere near your mic.
You can't hear me?
No. And every episode you listen to it and you go, man, I wish I was closer to the mic.
That is true. You say that every time.
And you are
And
not
currently you're
facing
not
it even
close
while
to the mic.
talking to it.
It's fine.
All right, we should introduce ourselves. My name's Terry. I'm stone.jaw on Instagram. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil. You can be next. We'll go around the circle.
I could be next.
Yeah. Well,
Clockwise, huh?
yeah. Well, what do you want to do? Counterclockwise? That's weird.
I don't know.
Chaos.
Well, I'm Phil. Blood transfusion.
I'm Steve, and I'm not paying attention. I'm Steve, and I'm at South of Heaven.
Totally not paying attention.
And I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
Nice. And so now we can officially start.
Yes,
This
we're
is the
starting.
official start. Of
Oh,
the
do you
podcast.
have any matte varnish here at the house? Nice. I can
Shout
use
out
some
Matt
later.
Varnish.
Matt Varnish?
Shout
Our
out
friend
our
Matt
boy,
Varnish.
Matt Varnish.
It's totally
Like,
not
that's-
paying attention's real name.
Yeah, Matt
Matt
Varnish.
Varnish.
Oh my god. Yeah, and we have no agenda today, so have fun with that one.
Yeah.
We're talking birdcasting.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
podcasting.
real.
Hey, I said it last time. If people can pay attention through the last episode and people still are on
They-
board, we're set.
Listen,
What
I
you got
think
over there? Questions?
the best
I can't see
podcast
anything from
is-
over here.
podcast about nothing.
There's a whole lot of questions. But
Why don't you turn the laptop this way so that people that are paying attention can?
Yeah, I will after you tell us, Phil, what you've been working on and what you've been listening to.
Good segue. Nice one,
None of
Gage.
that.
Come on.
So last week I was on vacation, and then this week I was working as many hours as I could to make up for that.
Where were you on vacation?
I was in Colorado. Colorado.
How was that?
It was good. It was great.
The park pictures you were sending?
Yeah.
When you think of parks here,
Yeah.
it's like a couple miles. You
Yeah.
know, the pictures you were sending were so expansive. I'm like, this is not a park. This
Yeah, it's
is
funny.
like the wild.
I went to I was there for a wedding, but I had time to go. I was at my friend Gio's wedding. Gio does listen. Shout out Gio.
Oh, shout out.
Gio, the boy.
And had the chance to go to no, only one was the national park, Rocky Mountain National Park, which I feel like that's just like a quarter of the state.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah,
Really nice.
And Roosevelt National Forest, and we got crazy lucky like with the wildlife we saw. Like we saw like bighorn sheep. Just
Yeah,
like
you were sending pictures of bears and shit.
Oh yeah, we saw me and Gio saw a little bear.
Is it like alone? No mom?
No, well, because it was small. So I was like, we were kind of concerned that there was like a mother nearby, but we
Yeah,
didn't see
gonna
one.
get you.
It
Phil
saw
gets
us and
eaten by a bear.
it scrambled away and like scaled the little cliff to get away from
Dude,
us.
bears rock.
Yeah, but we saw four. This is all right. So this is a very short hike. I want to say it was like 3 miles round trip. So a mile and a half from the parking to the lake, Cub Lake, then a mile and a half back. And in that one hike, we saw 4 moose, dozens of elk, which I kept. Here's your first Phil fact of the day.
Bing, 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 bing.
Elk. That's what you call them in Europe. That's what the colonizers called them. The native name is wapiti.
Wapiti sounds way
Wapiti,
cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds way cooler.
Yeah, elk is just what they call them in Europe. So they saw this similar animal here and said elk.
Now, are they related though? Like,
I mean,
they
yeah,
elk?
they're all. I want to say that the category is cervids, which is the general like taxonomical category of like deer.
Oh, just like general. So like, but they're like, I mean, deer is pretty broad. So are like, I don't know. There's got to be like branches that are just elk.
Right? I
Well,
mean,
like
like
caribou. Caribou are like kind of like deer, right?
they're all
gotta be the
cervids.
same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all the same.
they're all be-antlered.
What about antelopes? You think they're in the same fucking family as these guys?
They might be.
That's like
If
a
they,
weird
I want to say, I feel like
like
no.
that kind of shit.
Wildebeest actually is a type of antelope. I think wildebeest is.
I didn't
more,
know wildebeest was a real thing. by
I
the
thought
way.
it was like a boar kind of.
Yeah, I thought it was
No,
just a
dude,
name
they're
you
sick.
call for like
a
generic.
wild beast.
Yeah.
No,
They're like big buffalo ass looking.
They're
motherfuckers.
not. They're not that big. They're
Oh, shit.
so they are big for what they are. Which I want to say they're more closely related to like antelope or like goats than they are like a bovine, like a cow or a cattle or something.
And you saw mountain goats though, right? Too while you were
Not
there?
mountain goats, bighorn sheep.
Bighorn sheep,
Bighorn
that's it.
sheep.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anything? No, I think that's it. Moose, elk, sheep, bear. Yeah, that's it.
So
a lot
are
of
you
neat
gonna-
foliage too.
And that's got you really stoked on putting leaves on your bases.
I'm gonna put some leaves on my bases
Yeah, there you go.
eventually. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna start basing sooner.
I
rather
need
than
the
later.
internet to bully Phil into basing his army.
It's getting
Yes.
fucking old.
I
These
know.
paint
I
jobs
know.
are beautiful.
It's so much more fun to paint than it is to base.
Yeah. Well,
I know basing is very, very
It's its own
integral
art
in
form.
putting it together.
Yeah.
It definitely makes the model.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it just
for sure.
puts a little finishing touch on it,
Was
a
it
little
you-
exclamation point.
I forgot where you got it from. You'll probably know. You told me the most important thing in a model is faces and bases.
Faces and bases. That's what I heard. And then hands. People really like hands too. But I think that's not as important as faces
no, I
and
don't care
bases.
about
I
hands.
think that power sword that they're wielding is
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Right, but your eyes will always gravitate to a face.
That's
or a
why I
base.
do.
Yeah.
I do go for the face thing though, because no matter how like unimportant of an infantry guy is, I will paint the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fucking
Always
crazy.
paint the eyes.
No, you got to paint the eyes.
I will just wash the. I will paint the skin tone and then just
I feel- I
dab some
feel
wash on it so it enters the recesses and maybe like highlight around the cheeks. But
Depends
Yeah.
on the model. Those
Yeah.
War Games Atlantic models, like there really is no eyeball. It's just like upper lid,
Like a
lower
socket.
lid, and then you just like. I mean, yeah, but it's like a upper lid, lower lid, and then there's just like no space in between.
Speaking of War Games Atlantic, that shock trooper kit you gave me,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sprue. Did you put any of those together?
No, they also aren't War Games Atlantic. They're like war. They're like War something. They're like some old company. I don't even know if that company still exists anymore.
The fucking helmets don't fit in the
that's very funny.
the body.
Really?
Yeah. I was trying to make some for my Inquisitorial squad, but they don't fit. So
Really?
yeah,
That's
I like,
super weird.
I'm like cutting the necks to make it fit, but
I used one of those for a Terminator head because it's just like it's so
Yeah, it's pretty
fucking
sick.
big. And then those true scale Terminators that you printed for me, like it fits
Mm-hmm.
pretty nice in there. I actually don't really love the way it looks, but I can't like get it out. It's fucking stuck now.
Speaking of War Games Atlantic, that new Cultist kit looks very sick.
Wait for War Games
Yeah.
Atlantic?
yeah.
Yes.
Is that
What?
a mini War Games collab officially?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Mini War Game Dave is
Yeah, we'll pull it up.
making
Oh.
moves lately.
That's
Oh,
so
mini
cool.
War Game Dave.
Yeah.
That's
Our-
what you're talking
You
about.
know
it's
him,
War
Theory,
Games.
right? You remember
What?
him?
You're his villain.
It's not kind of. Yeah.
But War
Kinda
Game
remember.
Atlantic has a new Cultist kit that's like, I think it's sci-fi.
Yeah,
specific.
they're not chaos cultists.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Dave designed them.
Or
I don't know what he
collab, or- yeah. He posted it on his page. Like,
Those models are going to be so cool.
yeah.
Oh man, we got to convince Jared to carry War Games Atlantic in his in his store. Be great to buy some of these.
You know, it'd be cool
The damn
if that was stock.
So cool, dude. These are really sick. Dude, all the weapons. Oh, all the heads. Oh my god, dude, I want this really bad. This is like a lot of
Yeah.
good shit in there. Steve, what you been paying?
I've been painting. The last thing I painted was my Olden Demon entry.
Oh yeah, which now is currently damaged.
Sitting on the
He's
table
fine.
in
I'll
front
touch
of
up.
us.
I'll touch it up with a little paint. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It
That
came
was the
out
last
great.
thing. Thank you.
It's
What a
tough
lot
to
of
paint
effort.
in that style.
The thing I had the hardest time with, because I don't normally do like edge highlighting with a fine tip brush. If I'm doing like highlighting, it's with a dry brush.
Yeah.
And doing everything with a layer brush was very. It was just different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is like it's like, I don't know. I have an easier time like wet blending rather than layering. Like layering, it's like so hard for me. The colors need to be so close for it to like look like read nice to my
Yes.
eye, and I always fuck that up. And I can always see the line, and I'm like, shit, like it just doesn't blend as well as I want.
The way that I do it is I'll just use the same color, but I will thin it out like big time, and then slowly, use like less and less water until it's a much more opaque. And to me that works pretty good.
That's kind of what I do whenever I need to like put any sort of color.
Which maybe
over it.
I don't even fucking know what wet blending means. So
Well, I don't know.
The paint is still wet
Yeah.
and it blends together like.
you have two
As you're
colors
doing
that
it,
are
yeah.
okay.
That's kind of how I did the skin a little bit.
And it looks great. Like the skin is like a perfect color because it won't clash with the goblin green base will look different than the skin color, which
Yes.
will be really important. I feel like I don't know, to make the model read nice.
Yeah, the green is because I did this at work and I had a very limited palette.
Which is great.
And I just had a dark green and a white, and I just kept like getting it lighter and lighter, and that's how I was doing my layers for highlighting all the greens. And then the reds, I had 3 different reds, or a dark red, a bright red, and then I had an orange for the final highlight. And
Yeah, hell yeah.
that was fun. Doing all the red was really fun. Doing the black was fun.
Came out great.
The green took for fucking ever.
Do you think you learned anything from painting in a different style like this?
I don't think I learned anything because it's all stuff that I know how to do. I just don't paint that way.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, but it was fun. Well, it's fun watching it unfold. It's not fun when I'm doing it, but like after I finish a section, like, you know, I'll base coat it and then I start doing the layers to add the highlights and everything. Then you start seeing it transforming. I think that's really fun. And
You don't think you'll continue? That's not maybe the style, but like any of those techniques.
Probably some of the highlighting, like the way I did the reds was really awesome. And I plan to use a lot of that paint style for my, whatever you want to call it, my Chaos Undivided army that I'm doing on square
sick.
bases.
Cool.
I kind of would love to paint like that, but it
Yeah.
was so meticulous painting like that. So I don't know if I can actually do it, but
But it definitely
Real
is.
labor of love.
Yeah.
it would be cool to transition it though to like using gouaches.
You got it. Gouache.
Gouache. It would
G-wash.
G-wash.
It'd be nice to gouache like the whole model, get all the base colors, and then highlight from there. And
Yeah.
I think that would be really good because you can be so messy with the gouaches.
Yeah.
I know you could with our regular paints, but there's something about doing it with gouaches and things getting messed up, and you just go in with water and like fix it.
Totally.
But
Yeah, I have to experiment with that more. I that would actually have been a really good thing to use for Olden Demon.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. But I don't know. This is also a style that will be easier the more you do it. And like you can figure out how, because I've been messing around with dry brushing, and somebody actually posted the video that like opened my eyes to it in the Discord. It was like the one with like 1 million exclamation points, and it's like, you're dry brushing fucking wrong,
yeah.
you idiot. And like, but he just makes his little mat, or like, I don't know. I used like a plate. Like somebody gave me a dollar store plate.
Yep.
And I covered it with just like garbage, like junk drawer-esque garbage, keys and key rings and beads and all sorts of weird shit. And then like dirt and baking soda, and then just poured a bunch of Elmer's glue on top, spray primed it black once it dried, and then I test now all of my dry brushing on there and like get it off to the point where it's like, oh, this is the perfect consistency.
Yeah.
Then go to model, and it's completely changed my painting.
Robbie just made one of those too.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. I would like to do that.
Everyone's doing it because of that miniature hobbyist guy.
I will say someone
the one, right?
shamed
Yeah.
everyone in the Discord saying, "What, you guys didn't know to not do this on a paper, not to dry brush with paper towels?"
I didn't
I didn't know that.
I didn't take it that way.
No, I think
I felt shamed.
I think it was the fact that the technique itself.
Is not a new technique, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
It's like
hard to
slap
get-
chop.
It's hard to get the consistency right. That was my problem whenever I was dry brushing. It was like, it would always be too heavy.
You would
And
have
I'd
to
be
pick
like,
a spot where like
Yeah.
the first time you did it would be heavier, and then the rest you could go.
Yeah.
I was doing the same shit.
And so now that I have this weird texture pad, I'm just like, okay, let me get enough shit
I would
off,
just
and
wipe
then I
my
go right to the thing.
wipe
did
my
it on my
brush
finger.
off, wipe my brush off on the palm of my hand until I can see exactly how much
Yeah.
is coming
Yeah.
off of the brush.
I think that's a good idea too. But yeah, and then you've been doing Brothers of Prometheum. You've been painting.
Oh,
up
I've been
you
going
painted
crazy.
up a bunch of them.
Yeah, I've
and the
been going
flames
crazy.
look great.
Dude, shout out Gundam Mike because
Yeah.
he's really like we've all seen the flames on old models.
Yeah.
But him bringing it back with those. He did it on the BattleTech stuff.
Yeah.
the mechs that Anna did.
They look so good.
Yeah, and I just wanted to try it. And it was so much fun to do.
It's got to be like super satisfying to get a nice line that goes and just like peel the brush away and see that little tip. It's got to be
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah, that-
very satisfying.
But yeah, I've been painting those and working on my last war. I finished my last warband, and I finished the board for us to play with. And
Yeah.
I've been slaying away at hobby stuff, but I want to build. I've been building stuff and getting ready for my Chaos Undivided army. And I just picked up all that stuff from our boy Nate Dungeon.
Yeah.
Shout out Nate. He hooked it
Seriously.
up. There was
Shout
a
out
lot
Nate.
of good stuff in there.
King of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yes, very true.
King.
So you've also been hobbying on your house. What else is
God.
new?
You mean my front porch?
Yeah.
It's been tearing away.
They're physically torn away from the house.
Yeah.
No more front porch.
He
We had
did
to
it
go through the
with
back
his
door
bare
today.
hands, gorilla style, just ripping it, throwing it behind you. Yeah, just digging into your porch, just punching the boards away, punching them in half.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all my hobby stuff.
yeah. Gage, what you been working on?
I have been pretty much tallying all of the big army projects I want to do. So like the orcs for
Getting them all organized.
Yeah,
kinda?
like either the 6th edition when we play it for 2 hours and hate it, and then Hobgoblin and whatever.
Hobgoblin. So we got some questions later about Hobgoblin.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
True.
which will be sick to talk about.
Shout out Greg again for the 30th time for hooking me up with just
Oh, dude,
a
yeah.
fuck ton of black orcs.
Yeah.
I have this like narrative of like I mean, you guys would probably know. Sorry, not Terry, but the BlackRock orcs from WoW,
Yes.
but like kind of
Yeah.
like a Foundry style where they're living in a volcano. And I just want them just black orcs just like making shitty armor and then throwing it on. So like all the
cool.
not black orc models, the super old monopose ones, I'm just gonna plasticard armor on them. And
Yes. That rocks.
I want to
Yeah.
do like a red skin to work. I think
I was
that'd
gonna
be-
say. I was
That's
gonna ask
Steve's
you
thing, yeah.
if you
Yeah.
were gonna do like the brownish red from Outlands.
Yeah, I
Those
think
guys.
that style, and then maybe have like the hero units like a grayer skin,
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
like
What were
Yeah,
those orcs?
sick.
That was
That's
like
awesome.
before they drank the corrupted blood of what's his face and turned into like savage orcs, right?
yeah,
The fell orcs.
what's his name, Blackhand.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played when he was still around, but the he's got like this fucking collar of just flames and shit. I'm like, I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
That's just my narrative. So that has been like
This
half
one's
of
better.
yeah, that guy right there. What's that tier? It's like tier 11.
I don't know.
armor?
This appears to be
14?
this is from someone's like art station. So
Yeah,
I don't
it
know if that's
kinda looks like the
official.
That's
stuff
BlackRock
from,
Foundry tier.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks kind of like the Wrath Dreadnought tier.
Oh, it might be. Dude, it sucks. I was just saying this to Phil the other day. I was like, there was never a point in my life where I thought I would not be playing World of Warcraft.
Really?
And I haven't touched it in like 6 months. And it kind of feels very free.
Yeah, I get that.
But
I agree. It's funny. It's a game that I played from the very beginning.
I
up
still
until-
have beta
I still
screenshots.
check in. Every time like a new expansion or something would come out, I would check in for at least like a month or so, play at a level cap, and
Yeah.
just dick around and be like, yeah, all right, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And then carry on. And this time I just no.
yeah,
Not even.
I max leveled, flew around the zones, and was like, all right, I'm way too busy for this game.
I have so many like core memories related from like high school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just like not even leveling characters, just leveling to 19, and just we had a 19 twink guild
Yep.
of just dominating battlegrounds, and that was like
For Terry, the idea of a twink is I think in pretty much any game is
Yep.
you keep your character at a low level, but you get the best possible gear that you can for that level, and then you like
You
deathmatch.
go into like a tiered battleground where you're the highest you could be before you get pushed into the next tier.
Oh, okay.
yeah, you're the absolute the tiers of like what level you are.
So,
So
like-
so you're not like a low level guy matched against a high
Yes.
level guy. So you're still fighting low level people, but you are the absolute best that you can possibly be kitted out for that low level.
for example, there's the bracket, the old bracket, in pre-Wrath, well, even Wrath of the Lich King, I think, as well.
Yeah, I mean they redid all the.
Yeah.
So what is it? How does
You
that even
can't
work?
it
now?
technically
used to
can't
be-
twink anymore.
It used to be 10 to 19 was like that's like
Twinkly gear.
it's awesome.
That's it. So anyway, I've been quantifying all my big armies. I finally have primed everything in my like 4,000 point dream of the Iron Epicus from our Age of Sigmar game.
Wow, wait, 4,000 points? you
Yeah,
have?
because there's shit that I'm definitely never gonna take, but I printed and was like the steam tank. I'm definitely using. I'm definitely
Yeah,
using it. And like,
Dude,
Did I
that's
give you a
sick,
steam
though.
tank by some chance?
no.
Because I have one. I
You
don't know
tried
where
to
it
give me
was.
one, but I kind of don't like the old steam tank.
Really?
Yeah. So I use the Highlands miniatures
Steam
one.
tank hater.
Yeah, they also suck shit right now.
Like
they?
in
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, they're good for like clearing out like hordes of units, but nobody reinforces units. So
I do.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I definitely don't.
okay, but here's the thing: I'm not going to take a steam tank to only steam roll you. You
Yeah.
know what I
No,
mean?
but you
You
take
could
it
do
in
it
every
anyway.
game because it rocks.
No, it sucks shit in every format except for that. Especially with like me going all spellcasters.
Yeah, it's
It's-
not in your.
No.
Oops, all spellcasters.
Oops, all humans.
Nice.
I
Something,
actually wrote. Sorry to interrupt. For casual games, just to throw it out there, I wrote a very, very muted, low-powered list that will not roll anyone. It's essentially would just be like a DPS test for any of you guys because it's just cheap bodies.
Yeah, that's kind of
If
cool.
anyone wants to
I'd be
play
down.
against me and not be turn one steamrolled,
I'll play against you.
Cheap bodies.
well, not you.
Why not me?
Well, because you have a good army and you know how to play.
Whatever.
No offense.
Yeah, he rocks. Yeah. Listen.
So I opened that Conquistador box. I hadn't opened it before.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what was in it. You get so much stuff.
It's like what, 30 guys, 40 guys?
You get no, it's not that much. It's
it's-
less than 30. I think it's like 24 or 28.
Yeah.
But you get 10 great swords out of that box.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So when I was making the second batch of reinforced crossbowmen, I don't remember what kit it is, but it's definitely War Games Atlantic. No, I'm sorry. It's the Frostgrave Bandits box, I think, where they have the smaller crossbows. They're still crossbows.
Oh, those are very cool.
Yeah, well, because I didn't want everyone with these giant, like,
Dude, they are
two-hander.
They look unwieldy. The
Yeah, yeah.
big
I mean,
old ones.
I think that's kind of how crossbows work.
Really?
Right,
They were
but
just big
using the
freaking-
GW kit, they all are monoposed with that huge fucking crossbow. So I take those ones as like the sergeant or whatever the proper name is for it.
Sergeant.
And then the other ones have the smaller ones.
Yeah.
But it was just so fun bashing those dudes up with like a... I mean, Frostgrave isn't historically accurate, but it's closer than what a GW...
Yeah.
Low
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's also like scale wise, it's not quite heroic scale, but it is
Correct. So
larger
it kind
than
of
true
fixes their
scale.
hands.
Yeah.
And that's like really all you need. The only thing that was real weird about mixing the two kits like that is the heads. The GW heads are still heroically way too big.
Oh yeah, but that's just like
And then using the Frostgrave heads, they were way too small. So
I feel like-
I had to print some. Which shout out Highlands Miniatures again, because they just are making the best sculpts.
yeah.
Are you guys playing footsies?
Yeah, we're
on the
playing
table?
footsies.
Someone kicked me as well, and then you guys made
Yeah,
cute
we're
little
touching.
faces.
We're touching.
So yeah, anyway, doing that plus going through the episodes to put them on YouTube.
Yeah. That counts as hobby time.
It does. And also, going back to the dry brush thing, we talked about it in the group chat the other day, but I just am vectorizing the Hive Scum logo
Oh yeah.
so we can have our own palette, dry brush palette
Ooh.
with
Yeah,
our,
that'd be
our
really
logo
cool.
on it. And then I'll just give the STL out. Who cares?
Yeah.
Or maybe print some, and I don't think we're going to sell them, but
I don't know. Go on the Patreon.
yeah, it can go on the Patreon.
If you're a Patreon member,
Yeah. At the $500 a month tier.
Yeah.
You can have an STL.
You can have one STL. I won't even print it for you. All right, that's enough about me, Terry. What have you been doing?
I mean, I've been doing a lot of random stuff. Big stuff though was the Last War board. I like pretty much finished that up. I kind of fucked up. I have the Stillwater resin from AK Interactive, and it's like if it goes too deep, like if your puddle's too deep, it'll start to crack.
Yeah.
which is like I think I could just go.
Wait,
over
the
with
resin
more.
will?
Yeah, or not resin. Yeah, it is resin.
Well,
It'll
yeah.
It'll start to separate, and like you'll get cracks in your puddles.
Really?
oh shit,
Yeah,
I've never
I don't know.
seen that in like a clear.
It might have
board.
been me fucking around with it because
Because
I
I
was
feel like a lot of
poking
the
it.
okay, that would definitely do it. But the a lot of like resin pour fails is because
Yeah.
people they don't seal it properly, or the material underneath traps air, like a EVA foam.
Yeah.
And then the EVA foam will release air once it gets hot from the resin, which is why people get crazy bubbles.
Oh, I wonder.
Or the resin fucking leaks because it melts part of the
Maybe some of that happened. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
what material's underneath it.
EVA foam,
So,
but
there
like
you
a
go.
bunch of paint over it and shit.
So it could have separated.
yeah, it might have. I mean, I don't really give a shit. I'll like go over it again.
Yeah, I
with
mean, that's
more
the beauty
resin,
of-
and it'll just fill in, and
Yeah.
then it'll look like kind of gross again, or it can make the next layer like that much grosser, and you wouldn't even notice the stuff underneath. I just haven't gone back and done it, but I want to do that and then take some pictures of it that like look nice and post them up. So probably by the time this comes out, those will be done. And besides that, I've just been like bashing a lot of guys. Speaking of the Conquistadors, I opened up the Conquistador box. I have the like Irish Warriors
The
one.
little Blood Oath guys or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
the
called.
Blood Oath guys, and then there's another box that I've been using a lot of just like heads and stuff. And I've just been kind of bashing together like a random human warband for no other reason than just to like have guys to paint.
Right.
And then like Brothers, that's just like a project. So I built the Terminator using like the true scale Terminator bodies.
Bolter Juggend.
Yeah, is that where they're from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
Yeah, I
they
was
were
gonna say
like
that's very
official-
American of me to say it like that, but
Yeah.
them Bolter Juggins.
Yeah, they're really cool, and like I love the size. Like they're fucking big,
Yeah.
and I actually like put them up on some.
He even
corks,
recommends
so it's, like,
scaling them
taller.
down.
Yeah,
But he's like, this is the true scale size. He goes, this isn't going to look good with a lot of stuff. And
Yeah,
I was
but
like,
I-
no,
yeah.
dude, that's what we want.
in my mind, like Space Marines should be Terminator size to begin with.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so like I would prefer my Terminators to look too big because
almost like a dreadnought size.
yes, like I want them to be on the field and people are like I have to kill that because it's huge
Right.
and like that's a Terminator. rather than like them be pretty much. I mean, I know now there's new Terminator models, and so like they've kind of fixed the size gap, but I'd rather them not just look like Primaris Marines.
Right.
How do the new Terminators look?
I'm not really sure.
Design wise, they're the same as the old ones. They're just scaled so that they're
that's what
bigger.
I mean.
They're bigger than Primaris Marines.
They probably would fit the build.
I bet you.
They're
but like
beefy.
these are great. You know, it's just nice to have like 3D printed ones where it's like I don't have to pay for the box.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, especially like just with us.
Yeah.
None of us care about anything.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, these guys look crazy, and they're just like they have a bunch of bits from wherever.
Right.
And, you know, I don't even know. But I've also been painting a Caliban 28 guy,
Ooh.
and so that's my like last big thing, and it's probably 90% done. I just had to like go in, you know, once again like just like dry brushed over. I like did a bunch of wet blending, you know, just to add like highlights and shadows, just mashing paint in there, and then just took a dry brush. And like actually know how to dry brush now.
Right.
Went over with the dry brush, and it's like, whoa, cool. Now all the details pop up, and it doesn't look fucking crazy. And I don't need to worry about highlighting as much as I was before when I was just like layering on highlights.
Pretty sick.
Nice, pretty fucking sick. Yeah, so that's gonna be done, and then hopefully that'll be probably posted in the next week or so.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I've been painting so many like dumb little things that like I posted on Instagram just like 10 models. I think that's my
Yes.
new format. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because all I paint is random shit all the time that like doesn't really have any sort of like home. So I'm just going to be like,
mean-
here's 10 models I painted over the last 2 weeks. There
Yeah.
you go.
It's also a good way to keep you off Instagram. Like I've been
Totally.
limiting my Instagram. Like I'm set to 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
For even looking.
Terry,
to
you
help
started a revolution, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the in the Discord, but people are like deleting their Instagrams because of you. They're like,
Listen.
"Yep, I'm only checking it when I post models."
Then who's going to support? Only I'm allowed to do this.
I was going to say this is like the anti-revolution. This is
I
not what we want.
know. But I mean, it's fine. It's like better for your mental health, man. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I think because Steve, you have the app limited, right, for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
15
went to
minutes.
settings and I just set it to whatever. You can set it to whatever time you
Yeah.
want. I mean, I did it on Haley's phone for like a while ago, and I have the password.
Oh, see, that's good. I've never done it with the password because every time I've set a limiter for myself,
I can change it. I can be like, yeah, I want to keep looking.
yeah, I just like my brain eventually just knew to hit like ignore for like, and it's like remind me again in an hour or something.
Yeah.
So I would just like hit those things so quick. Even if I were to like hide the app in a folder somewhere, like eventually my brain would just like click what I needed to click.
Well-
It's so fucking annoying.
yeah. The
Real monkey brain shit. Like just have no control over this.
I was going to say at a certain point, I feel like the app it just doesn't matter, or limiting the app, because no matter what, if you want to look at it, you're going to look at it. It does not matter
Yeah.
what restrictions
I still-
or passwords or whatever you put.
I'll
on
go
there.
on the Safari app and go to Instagram sometimes to be like, make sure I don't have any like crazy messages or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Or now that Chris got those orcs, like I was going on there to check to see like, did he message me that he got them? Did he
Right.
message me that he got them? But shout out Chris. I'm glad he got those orcs. And I hope he puts them to good use.
Yeah, shout out Chris sending me those orcs.
Wow. Steve getting them sent back here.
Now, are we allowed to talk about the Virginia event?
Why the fuck not? I'll talk about it.
I think it's public.
Okay,
It's
so
in the Discord.
Now it's going to get flooded with people going to, it's going to be like, there's going to be people coming in with flags that have like the Imperium logo in
I
and
mean-
like big Hummers rolling up to
God
the event.
hates chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. It's gonna, now it's just like a dirt. It's people like surrounding the library that it is and just like doing people tailgating outside, like yelling.
That sounds awesome.
Just
We
like-
should just do that.
Yeah, people playing real life Gaslands in the parking lot.
we should just-
shooting at each other.
We should just rally against the event we're going to. But have you worked on anything for that event?
No, I haven't, and like I feel like once I do that, because I signed up for Red Joy, and I'm sure Steve will probably explain a little bit more about this, but Red Joy are kind of these like plague-ridden planet guys, and so I really want to focus and be like, okay, I'm gonna make custom guys specifically for this, rather than just being like, okay, I'm gonna Nurgle-fy some guys, and like.
Right,
You know,
right.
I don't want that to be the thing. I want them to be like very specific for this, and so I really want to like think and maybe bring out like my sketchbook and kind of like figure out like how I would go about like what sort of things I want to do.
Yep.
Do I want them to be like real slimy and stuff? But I have to read back through the lore to see like what in
I
particular.
mean, there's only like a paragraph to read.
Yeah.
I know, but I can pull a lot from a paragraph and kind of like let my brain
The,
sort of twist off something.
There's something very special about having that, like you were just saying, having something made specifically for an event.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it a little bit before the pod, the Blanchitsu before bed articles
yes.
that we've been diving in on. Mm-hmm. Seeing all the events that were ran either through GW or like some of the side campaigns they were doing.
Yeah.
Like the Pilgrim event has just been stuck in my mind. People making warbands specifically for it just to play in that event.
Yeah.
Just under like a quick sentence prompt.
Snippet prompt.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, your guys have to use the color red. Or like, you have to have at least one servitor in your unit that can look for this thing. Something like that.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to make my Inquisitorial warband fit both within Brothers lore and this.
Yeah, which is it's pretty cool.
So yeah, some of the other like little hireling guys I've been using, I've been trying to make it fit in the lore. That way, if I don't want to use those guys, they can kind of go away, but the main characters can still be Brothers related.
Yeah. Totally. I mean,
That's the
anything-
beauty of Brothers,
Yeah.
too. Like,
The
any
world is
faction pretty much can be involved in that.
I
Yeah.
will say though, I posted about the other day asking for help, but using the old Empire and Cadian sculpts, comparing them to the new GW human scale is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm trying to figure out how to extend their legs and torsos without them looking
Jesus.
like super lanky and ugly.
A little wire, like a paperclip, splice, cutting
Yeah.
it, splicing it, paperclip, and then green stuff around to match whatever
Right.
material it is. That sounds awful.
It's rough. It's rough, but they look cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. Yeah.
What's the best way to describe the Virginia event without giving like too much away?
I think we
don't
can
know,
just
you know?
go into it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
can we?
think there's no reason we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's public knowledge at this point.
I mean, worst comes to worst, they'll just cut it out if they're like, no, don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
please stop.
I know Martin had discussed like
Martin
limiting-
McCoy art.
Martin McCoy art.
Yeah.
Creator. Well, he's not the creator, but he is doing all the illustrations. For
Yeah, he's the art
Moscar.
director for that. Yeah, I mean, he's the art guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, the art is. Seeing it in person was awesome.
So I just
dude, I know,
just
right?
wanted to highlight one thing that I'm assuming Martin wrote on the Google Doc that I thought is a beautiful sentiment. The secondary event goal is to add another example to the list of affordable indie gaming events for everybody that can't or doesn't want to attend big cons. Martin's especially excited to show that this sort of event can be hosted at public libraries for free.
Yeah.
Which that's actually, I think, the coolest thing that's at a
Yes,
fucking public
absolutely.
library.
It's so cool. And it's like they do, like all libraries have those rooms where you can rent to do like study or just like rent for weird things
There's
like this.
a huge D&D club at
Yeah.
the Manchester Public Library.
Yeah. Yeah. So this will take place in Virginia.
Yep.
And it'll be
Richmond.
in July, I think, right?
End of July. Yep.
And we'll be cruising down there with a bunch of Northeast heads.
The Grimdark RV.
Yeah. The grim dark.
The idea
RV.
of gaming in the RV while someone's driving.
I forgot
is
who said it.
so sick.
That is cool.
Playing Gaslands in an RV
Oh yeah.
while on the highway has to happen.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We have to string up like a little stuffed animal to the front of the RV.
Absolutely. I'll bring a Garfield. I got a
Yes.
Garfield like sticky hand
Yeah.
one.
I hate Mondays.
Oh, me too.
Truly. Yeah.
So
And then there's 3 factions that's part of the world is sort of this not abandoned, but it's been like long since
So it is
go
like
ahead, Steve.
yeah, just because I fucking looked at this
yeah,
for
I
so
mean
long.
you know most
So it, to my knowledge, from reading the lore that was given, it's a feudal planet that's been cut off due to this, infection called the Red
Yeah.
Joy, and it makes anyone infected with it either die or turn into like a Nurgle-esque.
but they're happy.
They're
about it.
happy. There's
They,
it's like
the,
Nurgle.
the vibe to me, it looks like fucking Kaled from Elden Ring.
Kinda, yeah. With the way the colors that
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
chose to use, yeah, it's very got
I'll have
like
to
everything's
look that up.
fleshy and porous,
Yeah, fleshy,
and bleeding
red.
and- yeah,
Yeah, see, I want to do that. That sounds so much fun to do like custom models that
Yeah.
look like that.
yeah.
You know.
So originally, you weren't supposed to be able to play the Red Joy,
Oh, okay.
but
Really?
that was like something I just kind of when Martin said just go do whatever.
Yeah.
I just wrote rules so you could play the Red Joy, and
And you wrote a game system for the event based off of your Brothers of Prometheum
yes.
book.
So precursor Brothers of Prometheum is a setting that Terry came up with It's very cool. I don't want to get too into it.
You
but
can follow Terry at stone.jaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Terry's got some. He's got some lore of it on his Instagram on some of his models that he's been working on. But yeah, it's a setting that Terry came up with, and when I heard it, I just ran with it because I thought it was the coolest concept for like a mini skirmish game. So I wrote a whole rule set from Forbidden Psalm Last War stuff.
Yeah. Which is a great idea, because why not like take Forbidden Psalm? Why not take Last War and just tweak it to whatever you want?
Yeah. And it even says that in the book, like, do whatever you want with these rules, please. So I did that, wrote up a 30-plus page document on just Brothers of Prometheum. And then Martin was trying to figure out rules for the Grim Virginia event because they didn't know what to run for their scenarios, because I don't think Martin's done a lot of gaming.
Yeah,
he's like adjacent.
But he does a lot of the art for it. But
yeah, he wanted to do Inquisitor, but we were all looking at the book and we're this is like a dense book. Like
fun
I'm cool
fact,
to do it.
I just won a bid on the Inquisitor rulebook on eBay.
way to go!
Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, 2 days ago, and I also bought a Lord Weird Slough Feg shirt on Depop. So it was a great day.
Wow,
Nice.
Yeah. All right, continue.
big come ups.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You wanted to use the Inquisitor book.
He wanted to use the Inquisitor book, which I was totally like, yeah, let's just whatever it is. I just want to know so I can read the rules before
definitely.
the event. And then we were just saying how it was really crunchy. We looked at Kill Team. I don't know. It wasn't doing what they wanted it. So
It's also Kill Team is like based around like bigger squads. Like it's kind of hard to trim down what you need, but still have it be. I don't know. I'm also trying to like mess around with Kill Team and make it a little bit more rules light.
And Kill Team is great. I was kind of pushing for Kill Team because we all played it. It's cool. We see how cool it can be with Fodzilla's hack with the Acolyte. Yeah. So you can definitely do stuff with it.
Totally.
I haven't played in a while though, so it's like not fresh in my brain.
But it's easy to pick up. I remember picking it up just like one day we went to the Battle Centers and just played, and I was like, I get this game. Like it's not super hard.
And I love the hide mechanic.
Yeah.
I put that in like that. I kind of like ripped that off when I was writing the rules for
that's
Brothers.
awesome.
That's what it's about, baby.
Yeah.
Because that whole mechanic of hiding and like not being able to target enemies when you're trying to slink around the map is so cool, and it's really hard to like.
Well, it also adds so much in terms of like, a lot of teams rely on it. Like the Gene Stealer Cult, would not be a fucking team if they couldn't hide.
Yeah.
But like, that style of play where you have to make a choice between, okay, is this guy out in the open or is he hiding? No matter what, it's going to add more narrative than anything else in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So we were just messing around though, and we had just played Last War, a few days before. Stop kicking my chair. And the games went so fast, even with multiple people.
Yeah.
And I was writing those rules for Red Joy faction, the Inquisitors, and the Feudal Guard. So it was like, well, multiple people. If we play 3 people on a table, that's perfect because the games still go so fast, but it's still nuanced enough that you can really bash your guy up based on the rules and kit him out however you want. And so I went to town. I'll just take the brother stuff that I'm already working on and reskin it kind of for Martin's thing. Add these other factions and.
Which is cool because like once you reskin a reskin, it's like now you're taking information that you put into the initial reskin, like the hide mechanic, but then taking that to the next thing and then adding something else to it. So it becomes like a more not complicated game, but it becomes a more like nuanced game.
Its own thing.
Because it's like and that's great.
Yeah.
And the Forbidden Psalm rules are just so fucking easy where it's like anybody who rolls up and is like, oh, I didn't know there were rules to this event. I thought we were just showing off models or something. Like anybody can roll up and be like, no, these are the rules. It's super easy.
Here's
You
a
can pick it up in
3-second
a day.
primer. You're going to go.
Yeah.
Especially with the 1-page quick reference.
That's in the back of the book. I included that in the back just because it's so
It's
simple.
important. Yeah. I mean, Terry and I ran a whole event off of it.
Yeah.
it's easy.
Now, so there's 3 factions you can pick. There's the Inquisitor teams.
Which is off-world, coming in being like, all right, you're all fucking, you're going down and we want the shit.
fucking heathens.
Yeah.
And there's the feudal like kingdoms, right? Or something?
Yeah, like the noble families that are left. Pretty much like from how I read it, it's the planet has been like completely screwed because of the Red Joy, and the only people that are left are the noble families that boarded up their kingdoms and were like, yep, nothing's coming in here, no one's getting out, like this is on lockdown. So like knightly orders, nobles, things like that Feudal Guard.
Yeah.
And
Feudal
then-
Guard, yeah.
And then you have the Red Joy.
Yeah. Which
Now,
was sick.
was it like canonically the planets got so far advanced that they blew up and then went back to medieval-esque things, or is it they just never got there?
I believe it was like feudal planet that the Empire found. It was like, here's a bunch of guns and high-tech stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Advance yourselves, and then the Empire just did their thing where they don't
Right.
see them for 100,000 years or something.
Yeah. Because it was sick just matching all like Empire models that I had with Imperial Guard models.
It's
Just
so
being like,
cool.
oh, here's a guy wearing a dress and now he's got a las gun. And you're like, cool, sick,
Yep.
done.
Once this event happens, it's going to be because, like we were just saying before, this is like so important because it's another thing that you can show, like that everybody can do this.
Yes.
You can go to your library. It doesn't cost any money to rent a room. I don't think.
No.
You just have to hold it for a particular date. You can have people
And
come
the
in.
library's stoked to do it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They got tables, chairs, anything you need to run your events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's what I mean,
I think
it's amazing.
the only thing that they asked Martin, like, they're like, just please don't sell in our
No
our
selling
room.
stuff.
And other than that, it's yours.
yeah.
Bit swap, though. If you're coming to Richmond for the event,
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
your
yeah.
bits. I
Bring
want
your bits.
them.
Yeah, we want to touch your bits. But anybody can do this. So it's like, Hobby Dungeon Andrew's King of Minneapolis, right? Is that what you're saying? King
No,
of
that's
Minnesota?
Nate Dungeon.
that's Nate
Nate
Dungeon.
Dungeon. Oh, there's a lot of dungeons.
Yeah,
kicking around.
dude.
Nate Dungeon could start something. In,
I mean,
I mean, he already
does.
does
Minnesota.
do stuff.
I'm
He does a lot.
I'm just picking somebody out of the millions of people. In
Well, this is a
the
good
three
example,
people
though.
in
His
there.
name.
Yeah.
This is a good
Sorry.
example, though, because Rory and Andrew are trying to do like
Yeah.
Alberta Mordheim.
the Alberta Mordheim event, which
Yeah.
I can't say I would go, but I would love to go to Canada.
I would love to go to it. I mean, if it's possible, I would
Yeah, enough
totally
planning.
go
I,
to it.
there's no reason I wouldn't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I've got some friends out there too that we could crash at their place.
Oh, I love that. No RV?
I'll let you budget that out and then find out if we can do it or not.
But there's like tiers to this. Like for so long, we've been shackled by like the GW game stores or like
Right.
the
It has to be sanctioned by your
Yeah,
shop or
totally.
by GW or the company that plays or puts out whatever game you have.
yeah.
Like,
Now there's these tiers. It's like, okay, you want something small. If you don't have the space at your house, go to your library and then get people from the local area. And then furthermore, it's like, okay, you want something bigger. You want something with 50 plus people. Go to your local community, your VFW,
Yeah.
and rent that space and pay the $600 or whatever it is to rent that space for a night. And then you'll have more people come.
and then next year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Yeah.
And now
Or-
all of us are riding in Lamborghinis when Under the Dice Fest happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks
I
so
have-
much for
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have to move mine actually. I left it outside
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
road.
yeah,
it's gonna rain soon. You gotta
Yeah, I
put the
should
windows
cover
up.
it up.
Yeah, that Hive Scum money is really rolling in, you know?
Speaking of which, someone at the Spectral Wound show the other day had a Lamborghini.
That's so cool.
Dude in black metal shirt, couldn't read it because it was late and with the black metal font.
That's a
Got in the
vibe.
Lamborghini and left.
That's a real cool vibe.
Speaking of metal shows and funny things,
Yes.
someone approaching Daisy and saying, "Wow, I heard your band because of the Hive Scum podcast."
No
So
way.
whoever it was that went to the chain show and said that, please reach out.
Yes, you
That's
rock.
very funny. One of the three people who listens to this
Yeah.
damn show. That's really cool.
I was like, "Oh, what did they look like?" And she's just like, "I don't know, just some nerd." You can bleep that out. Maybe they'll feel bad about it.
Listen, we're all self-aware. We all know.
Yeah.
People, that's definitely how they would refer me. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, the nerdy guy." Listen, it's just part of the. It's part of the program.
Listen, if you tell someone that you listen to the Hive Scum podcast that talks about Warhammer, you're a nerd. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's what you are. But just going back quickly to like the tiered thing, it's like you can do so much. Like so much of I feel like what this podcast is about is like you can just DIY fucking everything
Yes.
to the point where you're making your own model.
Till I die,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
You could go find shit in your backyard and make a sick model out of it. You can
Yes.
go fucking cast your own shit if you want to, which I should have talked about the mold making stuff for my hobby time. I'll mention that in a second. But like you can make zines, you can promote things, you can do all this cool shit. And then like honestly, even
Don't
then-
need permission.
no.
If you need help too, there's like YouTube exists. The
Yeah.
amount of shit that I've learned off just looking at YouTube
Yeah.
is insane. And then like the community is so helpful with anything that you could ever want to do.
Yeah. And we've seen people like linking up on the In Rust We Trust Discord that like never would have met. Like
Right.
they wouldn't have known that each other exists like so close to half hour away, and now people are playing these weird games together.
Yes.
The Chicago area group it's like picking up.
They're popping off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so this dude Adam showed up. He was at Adepticon just out and about. I can't remember if he was there for the whole thing or just the one day, but he came by the booth, checked it out. He was like real stoked about it. Really nice guy. Joined the Discord, and him and Nate, I don't know if they play at the same shop, but they like live 20 minutes from each other.
Dude, so cool.
Like, and now they're getting their, with Robbie and everyone else, they're all getting their own little crew together.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, that will just grow. Like all these little pockets will just kind of grow, and we'll have all these freak little 28 friends out there.
It's honestly just been a mastermind plan for all of us to have
Couches to sleep on.
exactly these couches that we
Yes.
can sleep on and play in your events.
So get a couch, listeners. Get a
Yeah,
couch.
Get a couch ready.
You got to get your lawn chair out of your living room, and you got to get a couch in there for us. Sorry, we'll find one on the side of the road or something. Yeah,
Does anyone need a Coke Zero?
dude, grab
Yeah,
one.
I would-
love one if
Can
Steve
we,
is willing.
can we
to
take
give-
a 2-minute break?
Yeah,
so
we
I can
can-
grab some.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give it a
I'm
rip.
just gonna stop it and we'll start. And we're back. We just had a delicious. We should just do that every time.
Stop halfway through recording for
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah.
Eat a
little
little peanut butter and jelly
Stretch
sandwich.
break. Maybe I'll put a little intermission music in there
Yeah.
just for like literally no reason. But
Yeah.
it's
You
funny.
just put a new song.
No, you got to put our ad from Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, welcome back! And here's our ad from Raid
No, wait.
Shadow
What's the
Legends.
fucking game that you like?
State of Survival.
I
Survival.
don't like State of Survival. I just saw a new ad for that though, with different actors. It's crazy.
Dude? It would be really cool to be sponsored by State of Survival, just
I
like
would
some
love that.
ridiculous like phone game.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna bang out questions from
Yeah, we should.
from eons of asking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a
it's a
lot
battle.
of questions here.
I want to
go
be the
through.
narrator. Is that okay?
Yeah, do it.
How much
That's
battery do we got? Plenty of battery?
We got plenty.
All right, plenty of
We're
battery.
we're ripping.
We got heaps. We've got heaps of battery.
I don't know. I'm going in blind. All I did was
That's fine.
copy paste these things.
I won't number them this time, so you can edit out the
Oh,
poopy
I
questions.
love that. See, that was a nice vibe. And then in the recorded episode, it just goes from like question number 2 to like question number 5. And I'm like, I hope nobody notices. It's just 2 questions were deleted because they were silly.
Questions for the pod. These are normally asked every week if there's anything you guys just want us to answer, but there's a bunch that we've kind of pruned for the more juicy questions.
We had a name for questions at one point. They were like
Questions from the Hive, and
Is
used a
that
really
it?
cool echo effect.
Questions from the Hive. Oh, I did that in post.
should do
We'll
it-
fix
oh,
in
okay.
post. But I could do it now.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Let's see.
Let's do it live.
All right. Questions from the Hive. There you go. How's that?
All right, beautiful.
That was good.
All right, so question from Ian. What's everyone's plans for Hobgoblin for those who are planning?
Nice.
Terry.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Ah, man, I'm the least developed.
go.
Yeah, you go because I'm the least developed hobgoblin there is. out
Steven.
there.
No, me neither.
I mean, I'm just going to use the same army I was going to use for Fantasy Battle.
Yeah,
So I'm just going to do my
Absolutely.
Chaos Undivided and then make them work for what we're doing.
yeah.
Because I'm trying to do it where each squad is going to be like they could be used in a skirmish game. So each unit is their own like little faction, pretty much. But
Yeah, that's actually a
my
really cool idea.
That's my Hobgoblin, and Lizardmen is the backup.
Nice. Oh yeah, you're not doing Lizardman anymore for like a full on fantasy.
Come on, it's
I-
Steve.
I do.
There's going to be a third army
Yeah,
by
I'll
the time
probably
this
have,
episode
like-
even goes live.
Yeah.
They're in a box. I have it all laid out. I did the list for 2,000 points for 6th edition or 5th edition, depending on what we do, or if we just play OS one-page rule, like whatever we do. I have the army set up, so
Yeah.
I can build it anytime. I just hate the idea of painting them and building them. Building them fucking sucks.
Listen, if you build it, we will come.
So true.
Yeah.
What are you hobnobbing? What's your hobgoblin plan?
I'm going to be making my Black Works, my armor boys.
Oh yeah, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the ones I was talking about earlier. I also really like the idea. What is it, Five Header? The guy you turned me on
Oh
to?
my god, he's the best dude. Shout out Five Header. He probably doesn't listen to this, but
No,
like
absolutely not. But
if you're friends of his, because I think there's like friends of Five Header and that do listen to
tell
this.
him we love him.
Tell him that he is God.
I've watched everything he's put out, and
Yeah.
it is so sick.
He's so good.
But yeah, I really want to try like just a total freak made from scratch army that I don't really know what I'm going to do with yet.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool. Just like straight up, like
just like no
Straight up.
straight up,
dude,
yeah.
no plan, dude.
No
You're
plan.
just
No,
going
but I mean,
straight
like,
up, no plan.
I haven't fit what I want for a narrative, but just from the creative prompt, I want to only use entirely non like model materials.
Oh, cool.
Like he just uses army men and fucking glue.
Yeah, that rocks.
So I don't know. I want to do something like that.
Yeah, I've been like kind of hunting for. I mean, I don't need to hunt, but not. I don't like to consciously go out and buy anything. I like them to just like come into my
Yes.
world, you know.
Yeah.
So I really am like have my eye out for little army men's to use for armatures for bigger models.
Yeah.
I've been using those Skeletors that got thrown in the Nemo box.
Yes, those are the Dollar General Halloween toys.
Beautiful.
Are those the yellow ones?
Yes.
I have the one with wings with an axe, and he
No,
sits on my
I
fucking
made
desk.
sure all of it was you, Drew, and I think you wanted
Yeah, I
one.
got one of those
yeah.
too.
The what is it? The
What is he talking about?
What is he talking
What is he
about?
thinking about?
What's he thinking about?
His brain is working.
the other thing is that I really wanted to try sculpting this year. Mordheim Paul
Yeah.
and I were talking about sculpting, and we wanted to really try it.
Yes.
But casting, I'm hoping when Steve and I go to Old England, we'll learn something from Ramshackle Curtis.
Our boy.
And
So
speaking of casting,
yes, that. Thank you. I wanted to segue into what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I at least wanted to mention it because everybody should just go get this. It's $25 for a push mold, like putty mold kit from Michaels. And it's 2 parts. It's super easy to put together. And then you can press anything into it.
It's like blue stuff. I don't know anything about
It is blue stuff, but like you just get so much of this mold making material in the little kit. And then it's just, it's a 2-part thing. Mix it together. You have like a 3-minute kind of like working time before it's like kind of too hard to get all of the details. And then you just take anything and like either put that flat on the table and press the mold making material right on top, or you can just press it right into it. Yeah, that stuff right there.
Our boy Tyler, Planet Piss, uses them for the dead guys. I think he gave us all.
And I think he may have been the one that turned me on to that stuff.
I think
somebody
so.
did.
Yeah.
It could have been, it might have been Fiveheader that did that too.
There you go.
And like, it's just so easy. And so I want to make these dire wolves for my AOS army, and I want them to be like horses with like horse skulls or like literally anything. And I just made a cast of a horse skull because you can do 2 parts too by like pressing it halfway in, and then once it sets, just taking another piece of the same material and pressing that right on top.
I was trying to do that with the blue stuff, and I was failing.
So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that in like literally today because you were talking about the horses. Like, maybe you already said that. I am just confused by how you were talking about it. Like, say you did the horse skull, you did the right side, you did your press mold, and then you did it with the left side. Couldn't you just do 2 flat molds
like put them together
and then put them together? And
I
glue
guess I
them,
could.
And then
Oh
fill it
wait,
with
no,
green
because
stuff?
they'd be backwards, right, or upside down if you were to
No,
try and
if-
push them together.
Why would they be backwards if you did like press the left side? Because it's like you're not doing you would be doing a one-sided mold, right?
Yeah,
And then you just press the other side on another.
that's kind of
make
what I'm
another
doing.
mold.
now.
Yeah,
Like,
the
while
only
it's
thing
still
is
in
you would have to have register marks so that way they lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
Or else your mold would be fucked.
But I did like some really loose register marks on some testing of that, and it works fine. Like it works good enough where it's like
Don't
you
worry.
can just kind of.
Steve and I will learn all of the secrets from Curtis.
And then
I'm going to punish him with I'm going to go in there with a notepad, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to cross my legs and
Give
say,
me all your
Curtis,
details.
tell me everything. And then we're going to go over to Knucklebones, and we're going to say,
God damn
All
it,
right,
I'm so jealous.
give us the VR headset. You're going to teach us how to sculpt right now.
Oh my god.
VR headset.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Talking to the damn mic.
Yeah, Phil, go ahead and say what you said again. In the
Yeah.
mic.
I said VR headset. Whoa. Question mark.
Question mark? What's VR?
Yeah, you've never seen any of his streams? He all his models are sculpted in VR.
Yeah, he's like fucking Tony Stark.
Whoa.
I've not confirmed. Knucklebones may be Tony Stark.
Really?
Damn.
Does he have like the 6 suit and all that shit?
Yeah, I've seen tons of pictures of him in a suit.
Really?
No.
Really?
Real,
Dude, that's fucking
real
sick, dude.
ostentatious sculpted facial hair.
Yeah, Austin Powers.
All right.
But yeah, anyway, so that everybody should just go get it because it's like I love blue stuff, but like you get so much mold making shit with this that it's just like it
makes no sense
Might
not
as well
to.
just fucking get this. It
Yeah.
lasts forever, and I've just been making molds of all of the shit that I like. Tanner gave us those little like shields last time when we saw him at.
Yeah, maybe he gave you one. I don't know.
I didn't get one.
I didn't get one.
Shit, sorry. Anyways, I got like a cool little like I don't know like face. You know,
Yeah, like
that,
the orc face.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And so I'm just gonna make molds of that, so I can just do like a bunch of weird shit with that.
The other day I was thinking about this with orc face shields. Everyone has their own spin on them. Kev Adams,
Yeah,
Knucklebones again.
Me, I
Blanche.
made one.
Steve made one. Blanche.
He
Drew them.
More importantly, me.
Yeah. More importantly,
Most
Steve.
importantly, Steve.
At South of Heaven.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a rite of passage to get into the hobby? Evan
Make your own,
stickers.
Evan stickers. Yeah, I thought you already mentioned Evan. What do you mean a rite of
Like
passage?
just Hivescom needs an orc face shield.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You got to make an STL.
You're not a someone if you don't have an orc face shield.
Yeah, but we're nobodies. Anyways, but I get what
We're
you mean.
certainly not orcs.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not an orc.
Dude, I'm definitely
More of a
orky.
half.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got some orc.
Really?
You're like a half elf?
I said a halfling.
Oh, a halfling.
Yeah.
I think
that's
I'm
kinda cool.
half elf.
I'm short.
Yeah, you're
I'm,
fey as
I'm
fuck.
fuzzy.
Yeah. I'm fey as fuck.
Yeah, your face, fuck, bro.
Yeah. What? All right. So of the fantasy races, Gage, half elf. I'm a halfling. Terry's a skeleton.
Dude, what?
Yeah,
Come
that
on,
rocks.
bro.
I
What's
might be.
I mean, I'll be on dead guys.
Steve's a half orc.
Steve's definitely half orc.
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
always plays like the
I
half
legit
ogre
always
guy
play.
in RPGs.
Yeah, that makes it all right.
You're more dwarven to me than
Yeah, you definitely are.
halfling.
You have
Yeah.
well,
I
yeah,
think
no.
Greedy. I live underground.
I think you have the dwarven build. Halfling is a little. more
I don't
fair.
have as much chill as halflings.
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a little high strung.
All right. So next question. Kiernan asks, for those heading over
Wait,
here,
dude, we never finished that goblin question.
Hobgoblin?
Dude, I'm gonna make a fucking Dothraki horse lord.
Are you?
oh hell
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
I thought you.
All cavalry.
I couldn't think of it, dude. In the moment, it was like all at once, and I said, "Oh shit, yeah, I want to do that."
oh shit, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. So yeah, I want to do a sick
Dude, I-
Dothraki song Ice and Fire army.
Absolute complete tangent here, but I want to play a miniature game where it's all cavalry.
Dude, I would.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Right.
So in our bit slot, there's maybe 200 horses from the
Yes.
Empire.
Oh,
So
boy.
we can make this game.
All right.
yeah.
Next
Let's just do
episode,
sick-
we'll make this game on air.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be honestly pretty cool.
We have a game jam, a live game.
I was
jam.
thinking about that for
Yes.
this week when we were all panicking on what content we were going to do, like real podcasters, and then I went, we weren't panicked. We're going to
We were
save
totally
that.
not.
I'm
panicking.
totally
We're
not
gonna
panicking.
I'm
Yeah,
totally
we
not
were
panicking.
totally not panicking. So don't put those. Don't put that.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Bleep.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep,
Yeah,
beep,
don't
beep.
put that on me.
Don't put
We
that
were-
on me. All right, so next question. Kiernan, for those heading over here, what are you excited about for the UK?
What are you excited about, Phil?
I'm not heading. Yeah. What are you trying to?
neither.
No.
Trying to rub it in.
I
No,
thought you
I also-
I
raised
tell
your
you the
hand.
things that I would love to see in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, actually, it's also what's the stereotype you're most hyped to see or miss?
I mean, so is this question just to me and you?
Yeah, because we're the ones going. But Phil has to answer now.
I mean, Phil's been to England, so that
No,
counts.
I haven't. I've been to Ireland, but not
Oh
England.
yeah, that doesn't count.
Definitely doesn't count.
Do you want to go first? I mean, I've been there too before, so
I've never been there. I've never left the country. I'm
No fucking way.
yeah.
What?
I snuck into Canada once, and Border Patrol
Beat
almost
the shit out of
fucking
you.
killed us.
Wait, you've never been out of the country?
They
though,
buck
bro?
broke him.
We got to do this. We got. I mean,
Oh,
you
I am,
are doing
yeah.
it. But let's go to somewhere like strange. Let's go
I would
strange.
love to.
I would love. I want to go Prague, dude. I want to see the fucking.
Oh,
Czech
yeah,
Republic.
dude.
Prague.
Yeah.
What's your favorite prog band?
Prague band? Prague rock band?
Shalin's old band Protolith.
Wow.
I don't think that was a Prague
That's
band.
definitely not prog, but
you sure?
yeah,
Prague.
Prague is like
like Queens of the Stone Age.
Is it?
really when you say Prague, I think fucking
I think like
I mean, they're technically a doom band.
Tool.
Tool.
Not Tool. Why am I drawing a blank? They're literally like
Primus?
Rush.
yeah, Rush. When you say Prague, I think Rush.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, Rush rocks.
Yeah, I like that. That came off as Tool because I definitely
Yeah.
see that being Tool, but
I fucking love Rush.
I don't know if I'm
Shout out
legally
Canadians.
allowed to like Tool being straight edge.
no, you're not.
What, dude? Shut up.
is Tool
Shut up, dude.
is Tool
Shut
a
up,
drugs
bro.
band?
Yeah, Tools of Drugs.
The
band,
most
bro.
popular song is "The Pot."
Is that really true?
I don't know.
No,
anything
it's
about
the
Tool.
other one is the most popular.
Yeah, the one that.
Dude, I was
You know,
I was-
the other one.
Yeah, play it live on.
Two-
Pod.
Yeah, you know the other one. Get fucking immediately canceled.
Well, I mean, we can get like 5 seconds of airtime before.
That's this one.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna get that was. I feel like that's fine. We could do that.
Yeah, no,
People
we can do that. I think you're allowed 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
Yeah, the band.
There you go. Favorite prog rock band.
All right,
7
so
seconds.
we're
All right. England. What do you guys to see?
Yeah.
Want to see on in the
Stonehenge.
I want to
excited.
go back to Foundry Miniatures. I want to
very excited
go
for that.
to the museum again. I want to eat curry, and I want to
Fish and chips.
see a castle, I guess.
Biscuits.
The only
And my
two
friends. I
requests.
want to see my friends.
Well, I had 3 requests when starting this trip. I wanted to see a castle. I wanted to go to Warhammer World
Sick.
and in adjacent places like Foundry. And I wanted to go on the Jack the Ripper tour because I heard it's so
That's
memey.
so funny.
It's so funny and like fake and like
Oh really?
We're only going on the nighttime tour.
yeah. I don't think they do it during the day.
Do they dress up?
I don't know, but
it
it's supposed to be like how you can find like vampires in like Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of tour. Like
See, I
over
like that
here,
shit.
there's a this vampire. Lives here. Yeah.
You'll watch out. He's always hiding in the
stereotypes?
shadows.
I'm really worried about our friends just offending someone, making a fake accent, and they just get their ass beat.
They're fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I actually have a
It's-
story. I
it's
can't
not
tell on
hard
the
to be,
air,
like,
but I will
normal
tell
and
you after.
respectful in another country.
I crack the fuck up.
Okay,
when
you
people
know
do.
who we're going with. Do you think they're going to be respectful? And
Haley and Danny are going to be the most.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be the culprits.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, but it's funny when people do American accents.
girls are
Yeah.
the worst.
yeah,
I think it's
Girls,
hilarious.
are the worst.
ew.
Girls, they'll be
Yeah.
like, that guy was so rude. And no, he's not. He's just French.
Sorry to the 0.5% of listeners that are women. That
Yeah.
listen to this.
We can see the stats.
apologize. We can see the stats.
All those are probably all 3 of them.
Yeah.
All right, so next
Stereotypes though, biscuits.
stereotypes are biscuits.
They got cookies. They call them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are biscuits.
I feel
Ooh.
like I don't know any good English.
I was told
stereotypes.
being vegan in England is way easier than me.
Greg's
Really?
vegan
Yeah.
sausage roll is amazing.
I've been punishing all of,
I want
of
some of
Steve's
Gage's
friends.
vegan.
maybe
sausage
not
roll.
maybe not English stereotype, but my my stereotype of like Scotland is just like
kilts.
yes, kilts. No, just getting the shit beaten out of you just on the street, just by just a drunk guy for whatever reason.
That's kind of cool.
I would love that to happen.
I've heard
You
that
wanna
about
get your
Barcelona
ass
from multiple
beaten?
people, and you, I think.
I've also heard about that
Barcelona?
from
Sorry.
Barcelona.
Barcelona? I
no.
said Barcelona.
Madrid, which was honestly the best place. I
Yeah.
loved Madrid a lot, and Madrid is just like, dude, after 4 a.m., it's just the only people you see out there, like, I don't know, getting
Beating
their-
each other to
Yeah,
death.
Yeah, just, dude, I saw a bottle smashed over somebody's head, like, outside of just a show venue in Madrid, and
I mean,
we were like,
was it a
gonna-
hardcore show? Or was
no,
it,
it was just
techno?
like, I forget who. There was somebody wearing a shirt, and I was like, "We should go say nice shirt to that guy." I forget what the shirt was. Some band, and so we were gonna go up and say like nice shirt, and then the person that was standing next to the guy we were gonna talk to, a bottle just came out of nowhere and just smashed him in the head. And
Let me tell you right now.
ran. I was like, "Nope," and we just ran
Listen,
as
a
fast
bot-
as we could.
In my personal experience, a bottle being smashed over someone's head in a fight is strictly for show.
You think so?
Have you
Sounds
ever,
pretty
like,
rough.
bounced like a bottle off anything? Like it's not like it doesn't just break.
Well,
I'm scared of
really
bottles.
depends how much you follow through. I mean, I've been hit with a bottle that didn't break.
Yeah, it sucked.
That just bounced off of my head.
I'm just picturing just the most cartoony bottle break over someone's head, and you guys Scooby Doo running.
Well,
over.
also-
Oh, we Scooby Doo ran away for sure. There was no doubt that we like, there was like a dust trail. We just like swung our arms in one direction and it just went whoop, and we're gone.
We went and
Yeah,
saw
that was
Drab.
sketchy.
We saw Drab Majesty last time I was in England, and it was sick. But there was a Punisher there, just like spilling beer on people. Like,
Oh, very cool.
Like moving through the crowd and just spilling his beer.
Oh,
I
that's
thought I was
so
going.
much fun.
I thought I was going to kill him.
Straight edge revenge on him.
Oh my god.
I would have given you the X for
That's
the day
not
to do that.
very English.
Wow.
That just
Can you do
happens
that?
everywhere.
I know, but
Being in the council for 17 years, I can grant access for a day.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Actually.
so I
Yeah,
can be
I want
an
back
ice
in.
knife then.
You can be a nice knife when we
want back
record.
in?
I want back. I mean, I don't want to be straight edge, but
I'll be
I
straight
still
edge.
want to be in the council.
yeah,
I'll be straight edge for whatever shows you want to play.
All right. Sick.
nice.
I'm straight edge right now.
Uh,
Are you guys gonna go see Stonehenge?
Let me
Isn't
ask.
that in England?
yep, you're in.
In
England, in that, in
Stonehenge sure
everybody-
is in England.
Are you guys? You gotta go see Stonehenge. I always wanted
heard-
to see it. I've never been to England.
So
Yeah,
I think we're
that's-
specifically
to me, that's
going-
probably one of the
top things I want to see.
So,
yeah.
dude,
We're
it's so
not
fucking
going
cool.
specifically.
because Phil wants us to.
No,
I literally would be happy that you are not seeing it because I need to be the first
Now
one
we're
to
gonna
see
go.
it.
we I
You
think
guys are deniers. I
no Greg.
think it's fake.
It's home country for him.
He said it's boring.
He said it's boring as shit.
I'm sure,
That's,
dude.
And
that's his
the-
fucking opinion.
Yeah,
Correct.
It
But
is boring, but
The,
it's sick.
the fencing, I guess, is so far away from it.
Oh, you can't get close to it?
cannot get
that's
anywhere
gas.
near it.
Because I've been to Newgrange in Ireland, which is fucking amazing. I'm pretty sure it's like older than the pyramids.
Where?
Newgrange in Ireland. It's this little like, I don't want to say it's a tomb, but it's this little are you looking it up?
No, I thought you said Newt Gingrich.
Nice.
It's Newt Gingrich, but it's missing a few syllables. It's New New Grange, Grange, all one word.
Newgrange.
And it's like this little like tombey thing that's like old as shit. And on the I want to say the winter solstice, the sun lines up and shines and like hits the back wall of like
No
the tomb,
shit.
and you
Sick.
fucking go right inside of it.
I have a Phil fact.
Yep.
I can't. And it's a bad one because I don't know the names of anything. But
So it's a Phil fact.
Oh, I've seen pictures of Newt Gingrich before.
so you know all like
that's fucking
like South American
It's dope,
pyramids, like all the big South American, the big
Yeah.
tourist ones.
Yeah.
I can't think of any of the names right now, but like you're not supposed to go up to, you're not supposed to climb on them. You're not supposed to like go near them.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of things like that.
Well, comment just from browsing the internet, I saw apparently all those pyramids, like there's big tourist ones, but then like 20 miles away there'll be another one that's just like not a tourist attraction, and you can actually climb them and like go on them. And
Oh, I'm
stuff.
sure.
really?
Yeah, if they don't have the infrastructure or money to like turn every single one into there's also ones that are just still probably just like buried under dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the
Dig 'em up.
touristy ones, like if you see pictures of them from like 100 years ago, it just looks like a hill, and they had to just like dig it out of the dirt.
We should do a Hive Scum episode.
At Machu
in
Picchu.
Ireland.
No, at what's the snake one?
The one in
the
Ohio.
snake
Ohio
hills,
one,
dude.
yeah.
Yes.
There's
we
some
should.
very interesting stuff with that.
Yeah.
That one's cryptology.
What do you mean very interesting?
Well, it's the thing where, like,
Cryptozoology, very interesting.
I
What are we
wish.
talking about? Oh, okay.
although Ohio, Phil fact, I couldn't tell you
Sucks.
which out of no, Ohio's great. I couldn't tell you how it ranks as far as Bigfoot sightings, but it's definitely in the top 5
Really?
of the U.S. states. Yeah.
So, anyways, next question.
Next
because
question.
We're England out.
Yes. Adam
jealous.
asks, you can only play one tabletop miniatures game for the rest of your life. Which game, which faction?
Lucian also asked this question. I just didn't.
So the
Wow.
next question was Lucian saying, you can only... Steve mistyped this. You can only play one RPG or skirmish war game for the rest of your life. What is it and why?
Wow. That's actually really tough. I wish I had read that beforehand.
No, this is live. You get better answers.
So is it game as written, or am I able to house rule stuff?
So this is extra punishing for you because you cannot house rule anything.
Wait, what? Really?
No, I'm just saying for dramatic effect.
So we can't house rule the games.
No, I mean, you're bending the question at that point.
Yeah, I know, but it plays into my
Oh, well,
answer.
I can only ever play one game. I play Warhammer.
See, that's lame.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And then you house rule it to be fucking Forbidden Psalm or like, you know what I mean? It's all.
Well, that's like kind of what I'm getting at, because I would play Forbidden Psalm because then
Maybe.
you could get that to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As your skirmish game.
Oh, this is really.
I'm going to divide this because they're two similar questions. You can only play one RPG and one war game, miniatures game.
Oh, I don't know enough
Oh,
about
so
RPG.
split
War
two.
game? Probably. Man, that's hard because Age of
is.
Sigmar rocks. Like as a game, Age of Sigmar
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah.
You could make Age of Sigmar into
Yeah, are we
Forbidden
talking
Psalm,
about?
though.
Yeah, but are we talking about war game, skirmish game,
Tabletop
How-
miniatures game.
Yeah, so it
tabletop
could be any
miniatures
of them.
game? Yeah, it's definitely a lame answer, but I would probably say AOS for me at least. But yeah, my interests change like season to season. Maybe a year from now, I might not even like AOS anymore.
I'd probably say Mordheim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for faction, I'd probably, if I could only pick one, it would be some human faction, I'm sure, because it's like you can do so much with it within those.
Yeah, you can literally play any faction
Yeah.
with that.
For tabletop miniatures game, it'd probably have to be Forbidden Psalm.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if we're allowing like homebrew and hacking, you could make it into a Age of Sigmar style game.
Yeah, but playing Forbidden Psalm, like having that be your only game is being like you can only eat like like
You can only eat
fluffernutter
chocolate cake.
sandwiches for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
you
until the
eventually,
18th time you eat it, and you're
you'd be
like, I hate
"A
this."
fucking fluffernutter sandwich again.
So you're picking Mordheim because you just want to.
Well, then I can like I don't know.
Hate
you can-
yourself
Well, you
looking
can
at the
do like
chart
a bunch
every-
of different things.
Yeah, but
I
you
don't know,
once you
like-
memorize the chart, the game's fucking
Yeah, I mean,
brain dead.
that's like saying, once you get
Yeah,
through the first
to me,
8
it's
seasons,
not like
it's good.
those two questions to me are incompatible because it's like, well, not incompatible. Like if I could only choose one game system, I'll say, all right, I'll choose Age of Sigmar, but I would want to be able to play tons of different. Like that's what would make it interesting is being
Right.
able to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
different permutations of games.
This is gun to your
And if
head.
and if I had to pick one faction, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick Beastmen, but I could play Beastmen in all sorts of different
Yeah.
games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank God we don't only have
Correct.
to play
To
one.
answer, I
That's-
mean, it's the same thing for RPG, right? Like I would pick any OSR game and be like,
House rule.
that. Yeah, now I'm playing all of them.
yeah.
I mean,
I had a bunch of questions about
Yeah.
OSR
Good thing.
games,
Good
but
thing
I don't think
Adam's
I'm gonna
not the
ask them.
president of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Terry.
very.
I don't
true.
have
You
to.
have OSR
I don't have to
questions?
take this question seriously at all.
I do want to say shout out to Rory for posting those like primers in the Discord because I printed them
Thank
both
you,
off
King.
and then read them.
Those are
They're
OSR
kind of
ones?
older ones. I mean, one's from
Yes.
2008, and then the other one's from.
the
I'm pretty sure Bob references them and links them
everybody
in his-
references them.
Yeah,
That
in
guy
his
who made
article.
the old OSR primer, it's like it gets linked into every game because
Yeah.
it's perfectly converting you from like a 5th edition game to an
Yes.
OSR style.
And that's the thing is like I play 5th edition. I've been playing 5th edition forever. But in my head, even before I played Dungeons and Dragons, I imagined it as like the OSR, like the old school way of playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was what was in my head, and I was surprised to play 5th edition and be like, oh, there are all these rules to it. I
Right.
had no idea that there were all these rules to it. And then you learn the rules and you're like, this is D&D, like no big deal. So then to like relearn that there's this entire like community, this movement of
Yep.
people who are like playing OSR games and hacks of games and doing this and doing that.
I mean, it's different strokes, right? Like people want to play 5th edition because it's
simple and easy to get into because it's the current edition.
yes, but it's a toolkit game where the GM can hold your hand through whatever you're playing. Whereas like an OSR is more of an exploratory. The players are kind
player has to push
they're
it.
setting up everything, and the GM is just kind of orchestrating from
Yeah,
there.
to me, if something is mechanically sound and you can just skin it however you want, then that's all that matters.
Exactly,
But OSR is definitely more skinnable than 5e.
100%.
Because I thought about skinning 5e for like World War One or something and doing that, but it's like, oh shit, there's so many rules that like,
Right.
how does this fit into it? How does that fit into it? And then only kind of recently, I had known about OSR and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. But it wasn't until I printed those things off that Rory had linked, then read them through, that I was like, oh shit, like this is what I had always imagined.
we got to get you
role-playing
into
is.
to old school essentials.
Yeah.
Maybe
And now
that
that's
West
what I
March
want
is.
to.
I actually on the way over here because you kind of talked. You're like, I have a bunch of OSR questions, but I'm gonna wait till the pod. I was thinking because Steve and I were talking about it a little bit after that vintage RPG episode where they talk about West March's style play. I was like, man, I really want to do this, and then we were actually talking about it in the Discord too. But I was thinking having a style like a world, like a map, but you switch games because my catalog now of unplayed games has finally surpassed my played games.
Oh, nice.
Like almost double.
of like role playing games.
Yeah, so my library now is just like I need to churn through these games to say I've actually played them and tried
So you
them.
want to do West Marches with each session is a different game?
Almost, yeah.
That'd be sick.
Especially because like so many of them are OSR based or like a rules light enough that you could kind of just skin it to however you wanted, and then we
Yeah.
kind of pick what we want, and then either make our own or take what we want from each mechanic, or like take a mechanic from a certain game or.
How do you feel about sci-fi stuff though? Like, do you want to incorporate like, oh well, we're skipping ahead 10,000 years to when there's space orcs?
Are there OSR sci-fi games? There has to be, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mothership. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
well,
yeah.
It's a little heavier than that, but
No, but still, like, I mean, that still
yeah.
counts.
I'm blinking because you just asked me, but I definitely own at least 3.
Okay, so it's like that's not even that big of a jump.
Death in Space, I think, is
Death
one. You can see the cover of it. Necronauts, maybe. The historians are going to yell at me. Yeah, there's a couple. I've got them, and a lot of them too. We were talking about this too. The only way to get someone into your book is looking at like the cool art.
Yeah.
And that's what's selling these different skins of OSR games. It's like, oh, you want to play just a real rules light, but like exploratory heavy space game based on the fucking
Alien.
based on the sword, like the band.
Yeah.
You love that, like those riffs that make you think of like Weed Doom guy metal, and then now pair that with an RPG. It's like
Stargate SG-1 OSR game. That's what we got to play.
that's what we got to play. I'm writing it
definitely
right
exists.
You think it already exists?
now.
100%.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I've looked.
Really?
I do own
Oh, then make that.
I do own the 5th edition Stargate SG-1 book.
There's a 5th edition book, but there's
Yes.
not a fucking RPG that
Yes,
exists.
because the thing is, it's like you said, 5th edition is new and current, so people looking to make things are just copying whatever's current and swapping out the mechanics. You know what I mean? Like,
Lame.
oh, if this game system has a bow and arrow, I'm just going to change the weapon profile to be a pistol or a blaster rifle.
Yeah.
So
Dude, you should make a Stargate SG-1 OSR game.
right.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't even know
let's
anything
play.
about the Stargate universe.
see, that's the thing. You want people like that.
Yeah.
Because then you
Yeah.
Because then
anything
I
you
can
get wrong, it doesn't matter.
I can punish you with
Yeah.
my knowledge,
Yeah.
and you get to hear it for the first time, and
I
you're
get to
more
figure it
excited as a
out.
player.
You've seen the original
Yeah.
movie, right?
No,
Dude,
never.
we should.
The movie
that's,
rocks.
That's a great movie.
Every
You should
episode,
watch it.
we're going to talk about the movie and how much it rocks, and then no one has seen the show.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a couple episodes of the show because I like that Major Briggs is on there from Twin Peaks.
Briggs.
Shout out Twin Peaks.
All right, what's our next
Shout out
question?
David Lynch.
Do we have any other OSR questions, Terry? Do you want to talk about this? Start
I
a
mean,
second
honestly,
episode
like
or,
that's the
podcast?
thing is like I feel like I should save it until we can like really dive into it because I want to ask you about your experience with OSR games, like how you got into it, like how deep that world of people making their own games are, like how I can go about making my own game. Like I want to go
The
like,
rabbit
deep in
hole
that.
goes.
Yes,
I mean,
so
you-
this is
I don't know.
maybe a question for another pod, but
All right.
just know that
We'll
it's out
save
there.
it.
And like you know,
'Cause I can answer all of that right now.
and shout out Rory just for like opening my eyes to the fact that like you know, and like Gage is probably sitting here being like you look.
I've said that to you like 9 times. No.
You've looked at my library 10 million times and never asked me this question. But it was just me being like, maybe I will download this and read this. And then reading through it, just being like my mind being blown. I was like, this is really amazing.
No,
But-
we'll save that for an episode.
Yeah.
We'll do an OSR episode.
No, that would be really great.
I'll,
Like,
I'll
next time, if I
punish
can
you.
just-
I'll fucking
No,
we'll
'cause
run
I
a
wanna
game
know.
live.
And honestly, I'll do probably a lot more research before that. And so I'll be able to ask you more direct questions. So this will be good to wait for.
Well, for anyone that's interested that doesn't want to wait for another episode / Terry, the 2 best resources that I remember, Ben from Questing Beast,
Okay.
the best fucking channel.
Yeah,
in my
I watched
opinion.
a couple
Yep.
of those.
He has like an OSR primer. He put it like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something.
I think maybe that was the one that I watched
Yeah.
when I was like trying to figure it out.
And I recently remember the Dice Breaker one came up probably like 6 months ago, I want to say.
Okay. I'll
That
look
that
up.
website actually rocks too.
Oh,
So
it's a site.
it's a site, and then they did a video on it. So
very cool.
Shout
Oh,
out
yeah.
Dicebreaker.
shout out Dicebreaker. Some of the best RPG content on the internet. All right, next question. Kimmy asks, "I wish you put handles with these, Steven."
It was all from
Kimmy Zerg.
the disc. Yeah,
Kimmy
it was from the
Zerg?
Discord,
Oh,
so I
shout out
didn't have
Kimmy
their
Zerg.
actual handles.
What's the wildest tantrum you've ever witnessed in a gaming context?
When I read that, I
usually
immediately-
I'm the one having a tantrum.
I have a vivid memory, and it's from the Battle Standard of someone who is now banned from the Battle Standard for being such a baby.
Oh, don't name any names, but do you remember what happened?
Their name starts with an R,
I think I know this.
and they were having a meltdown over.
D&D, right?
Yeah, it was over something
really?
with their West Marches campaign and how they were unhappy about.
Oh
Something.
no, I think I know. I think I believe,
I remember you guys texting me when this
So I
was
believe
happening,
what happens
live
is,
unfolding.
is they. So it's the ongoing campaign that happens at the shop,
Which is they have a West Marches campaign.
and
Yes. They have a very sick
so
map
this
for it.
this person who is a regular. So they, I
Was.
guess they give they
was.
they give priority to new players, and
Yes.
this person who was a regular got benched for a new player and threw like
Well,
a tantrum in the shop.
It's
right?
also
Is
not
something like that.
It's also not strictly new players. It's if you've played 4 times this month and someone's only played 2 or 3 times, you get benched for the person who's
Oh,
not
yeah,
going to play as much, which is totally fair. Like,
Especially because
Yeah.
everyone's paying for a slot in a game like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
offered like, "Hey, we're sorry, here's your $5 back," and they were like, "Well, no, I don't want my $5 back. I want to play the game that I'm playing in."
So you guys saw that happen in real
didn't.
life.
I witnessed it happening. I don't remember who I was with, but I was there while it was happening. I was having so much fun just watching it unfold.
I don't know if I've ever had somebody be salty in.
I've
definitely
s-
not a
I've seen.
tabletop.
There was one person who I watched them freak out multiple times.
Me.
Is it someone we know? Is it me?
I'll say it off the air. But during a Magic game, I watched this person get so angry over the fact that someone declared attackers incorrectly in a Commander game. That wasn't logical to this person, and they stood up, threw a fucking dice across the room, called them a fucking idiot, and a lot of other names I can't say, and then sit back down and act like it was just going to be cool the rest of the night if they just kept playing.
God, that's really awkward. That's really, and I was going to say, like, the only time I've ever dealt with people being salty, and it's really funny that, I mean, I'm sure that this happens in like the tabletop, like RPG kind of thing, but like, it's always been Magic players. It's always
always
me,
Magic
me playing, and it's like I'm playing some silly fucking deck, and it beats their expensive deck, and they get freaking pissed.
I'm gonna slag storm.
Oh, that guy rocks.
I'm gonna
Slagstorm for
I'm gonna
3?
slag storm players for 3 on a board filled with insane creatures.
Yeah, I remember some dude like when it.
Vape Lord. That's who that was.
Oh, Vape Lord rocks. No,
I don't
but
know
it's
what
like
Vape Lord is.
there's so many people that I've played against that have just gotten so pissed that I beat them, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's not as much creativity involved in Magic, and like it's a little bit more streamlined. It's a little bit more direct. That like when you are acting creatively and when you are doing something that's different, and when it goes against like this deck wins or like net decking. You're just making some.
Well, it's
weird
direct
deck.
input to budget, especially in the Commander.
Oh, 100%.
So
And
I've
that's-
paid $1,000 and my deck lost to your $20 budget deck.
And that was always me wanting to make goblins decks and then just going to the modern night and playing my shitty like $35 goblin deck against somebody's freaking like artifacts deck or whatever. What was the artifacts deck name? Affinity deck.
Jund Rhinos.
And then I
or-
just like they're playing an aggressive deck and my deck is quicker than them and I beat them and then they're just like it was because of this. Like
And
what
you're
the-
playing
Oh, dude,
Goblin.
if I got just
There's
this
nothing.
thing.
What was it?
Nothing-
8-whack with Goblin
Whack.
Bushwhacker.
It
and
was
it was
like-
busted.
Yeah, I was
Nothing
playing
beats
some of
though
that stuff.
when someone loses and they have to explain.
Oh,
And to
Every
bring your
time.
win down.
every time you
Well,
play.
you only-
Demoralize
You only
you
beat
for-
me because of this.
Yeah.
Well, I only lost because I played worse than you.
Oh, that deck, that deck never would have beat me if I got this, that, and this.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you didn't, and I fucking won.
You know what's crazy?
Loser.
You
Yeah, you
lost.
have to put me as the winner on your little sheet there and hand
I
it
don't
in.
even have a sheet, but you got to put me down.
And I've had people like refuse to shake hands. I've had people just like get up and storm off. I've had,
Oh, I love those. I mean, that's what sucks because, like you said, it's always Magic players.
and it's like in casual game. You know what I mean? Like it's playing like at the modern night or at the standard night,
Yeah.
but it's like
It's not regionals, bro.
silly.
Relax.
I do have a Warhammer tantrum story.
oh, tell it.
So I played in a 40K event. It was after 8th came out because that's when I was grinding Tau really hard. And it was prior to having like any real synergy going on besides the commander spam. And it was before commander spam became like a prevalent thing. Like people would take a Tau commander, equip it with 4 fusion blasters or 3 fusion blasters in a flight suit, and you would fly across the map and just delete a unit.
Oh shit.
It was really cool. But like I didn't have 3 commanders. I just played with the stuff I had.
Yeah.
And I would just play like Riptides, and it was really bad. But I played in a tournament, like a 4-round whatever kind of tournament at a shop. And I got my first opponent sets up his army. He has Imperial Guard and he has like all tanks.
Oh shit.
Tanks with guard spam. So he had like 60 guard units, a Baneblade, and then Lehman Russes. And his battlefield was like his side was filled.
That's crazy.
And deployment was fucked. Like he won the dice roll for deployment. And his deployment rocked. I was like hiding behind this little building to not get shot off the table. And he had to put his Baneblade down, and it didn't fit in his deployment zone.
Oh,
so
shit.
he put it sideways between 2 buildings. And he was just like, "Yeah, this is that's gonna be my deployment." And I was like, "You can't do that. Like that's definitely not okay." And he got like so mad. He's like, "I'm putting my tank like this. Like what do you? I can't put it anywhere else. Like
Why can't he put his tank like that?
Because it's a fucking Baneblade. It's massive.
This is the
shit.
Baneblade. He was doing this with it.
Oh my god! Oh, I thought you meant like turning it to the side.
No.
He was like it was like literally up on the tracks.
Yes.
kinda.
Like
it was sideways.
So we got.
Oh my god, that's
So
hilarious.
He called for someone to come over, and they're like, "Of course you can't do that."
Yeah, that's
so
like leaning it against a piece of terrain, and it's like
Yes.
by like the butt end or
My
something.
Baneblade
That's
has Batman wheels. What do you mean?
So we had to
Holy
redo
shit.
deployment is how they ruled it. They were like, well, just redo your deployment. And I was like, well, that's kind of stupid, but sure,
Yeah.
whatever. And he had to like move his whole thing. And he was so like the rest of the game, he was just like fuming about not being able to
That's
do that.
hilarious. To even just like as a common sense level, be like, of course you can't
Yeah.
do that.
And he like stomped me. Like he ended up going to last round and like he was kind of a salty guy because the guy he played last round was an orc player playing like 180
Just
orc
having
boys.
fun.
Yeah, it was my buddy Adam, and he was just like an orc player, and he would like top 8 like pretty significant events in New England area with orcs.
That's
like just orc spam, and he was just really good tactical player that smoked way too much weed. And like
hell yeah.
I remember their game went to round because he was frantically trying to move his guys. And like he just had so much stuff, he would go to time every game almost, and he ended up losing because of like going to time. It was really bullshit. But
If I ever play 40K, that's like I have hundreds of orcs.
yeah,
So I cut my teeth.
I have a story.
Oh, please do.
Were
You've
you
got a
about to
little
go to the next question?
no, but
Not now.
You've got a cheeky little
You
smile
guys
on
just
right
skipped
now.
over me almost every question.
You
right.
specifically said on the Hobgoblin question that
Yeah.
you had. I don't have nothing. I'm not playing that.
Yeah, and you said you were salty about England.
yeah.
Salty little boy. Plus, you answered AOS for the last question.
What was the last one? No, I'm just kidding.
But you got a cheeky little grin on about some sort of story over there.
Well, I mean, I'm the one that looks bad in this story probably, but it's a good story anyway. So when I used to play 40K so there's a Games Workshop like 2 miles down the road from my parents' house. So I used to play there, and I played a pickup game with this kid who was probably like 14.
Yeah, that rocks.
And so this is okay. So this kid, he introduced himself. He's a kid who went to one of the boarding schools, one of the famous New England, Connecticut boarding schools in the area, and his parents were visiting him for the weekend, so they brought him to the Games Workshop so that he could get a game in. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll play you. And I playing this little boarding school brat comes in with a fucking like a tournament list that he just like found online
Of course.
and is just fucking not only he's just like rolling me, but he's like he was then how I am with AOS now is that he just knows the rules. He was telling me the rules for my army and just like, no, you're doing that wrong, and just like all the way like
This is why Phil is a rules lawyer now.
this is why I'm a fucking psycho
This was
now.
a formative moment in his
I was
life.
traumatized by this like preteen. He's just like, he's literally like rules lawyering me, fucking
Just pummeling you.
Oh
into
yeah,
oblivion.
even if he let me get away with every possible misinterpretation of the rules, he was still beating my ass. And I don't even remember what I said or did, but I remember like I just like popped off and I was just like no one is ever gonna want to play with you. You as a person
Schooling
are
him.
awful. Just like yelling at him, and like all the other regulars in the store were like, "Dude, I thought you were gonna hit him." I'm like,
Oh my god.
and for context, I was
Gonna hit him.
definitely I was probably in my late 20s at the time, so I wasn't.
So you were
also,
a badass.
I was a badass.
So this
Billy
kid, he has
badass.
no friends. He
No
collects
friends.
all of the codexes. He gets them for like anytime he gets allowance, he buys
yeah,
a
he's
codex.
a lot. No, he's a rich kid. He goes to a Connecticut boarding school.
He sits in his room all day and reads these things because it's the only thing he loves.
he has no
Yeah.
friends.
Finally gets his parents to come pick him up and drive him to West Hartford, and then you just ruin his life.
Yeah, gets to live out.
kid.
Yeah, you just
No,
get
yeah,
yelled
yeah.
at by a deranged fucking unemployed adult.
Someone's gonna post in the Discord and be like, "Hey Phil, that was me."
I was that kid.
I was that
Nah, I hope that kid's dead.
That rocks.
Holy
No,
shit.
honestly, he's probably like.
A really rich
No,
kid now.
yeah, he probably like works in Silicon Valley now, and like
Yeah,
he's
who
one of
knows?
those kids who's just like a brilliant roboticist, but like his like parents were at the job interview with him,
Probably
like
thinks
that
about
kind of.
you all the time.
Yeah.
The way you're saying this sounds to me like you know who he was and you lurk him like every 3 months just to check up
Just,
on him.
yeah, just to see where he is.
Make sure he didn't kill himself.
Oh yeah, you're still at Facebook, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
I wish.
Dude, that's a great story, though, Phil.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we actually went to you this time. For
Yeah.
this question.
Thank you for letting me
Instead of
talk.
just skipping
Thank
over
you for
like
not-
we like doing.
Thank you for not silencing me.
All right, so I'm going to ask a couple of the easier to answer questions before we get to
Thank
this
God,
next
because
one.
these ones have been so
I know.
challenging.
Question
None
from
of them are
Alex.
challenging.
When will Hivescum give me back my family?
That's a really big one.
Well, I don't know which Alex this is, so
It depends on which Alex. We have a couple
This is
families in the
This
locker.
is the
Yeah.
one-page rule, Alex.
one
You
page rule
literally
is
every
Andrew.
time I say
Who is Alex?
One
Who's that
page
dude?
rule is Andrew. No,
No.
who the fuck
Hobby
is Andrew?
Hobby Dungeon Andrew.
No.
That's one page game jam.
That's
one
Yeah.
page.
Which
game.
shout out.
Oh
It's
my
gotta
God.
be
Game
over.
jam.
It'll be
You
over
freaks
by-
got to get better at branding yourselves.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
mean
yeah.
branding? Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I went to high school with this Alex.
Oh, Alex rocks. Yeah, when are you going to give him his family back, Steve?
I don't. He asked Hivescum. He said, "When is Hivescum going to?"
I'm not responsible for the people you've locked away, Steve. Don't
Yes.
put
When
this
you
on
give me $1 million,
when the police pull them out of your basement, yeah,
Yeah,
They're gonna
pay
come
us
for
$1
you
million
because I already think it's a bad idea to keep them here.
Yeah.
in your house.
In your
in
house.
my house.
It's not great. I mean, I don't know where else you'd keep them, but
I've had better ideas.
yeah, for sure. That's
That's for damn sure.
yeah, Steve. This is a rough one. I might have to cut this because like they might come looking.
That's true.
The Pinkertons.
All right, we'll just go to the next one and then no one will know. Dylan asks, out of the four of you, who can kickflip first try?
Not me.
Terry.
Not me, but
It's
Not me.
Probably Terry.
I would get probably closest.
You get
but,
close.
Well, I know it's certainly no
Definitely not first
translation.
try.
Certainly no translation, but I mean, you are a quite good BMXer.
yeah,
You've
yes.
done extreme sports.
yeah, you're
My-
the best.
I mean, I
extreme
know the.
sporter.
I know
I'm
the,
the best.
I know how to do a kickflip, but I don't
Yeah.
think I can execute one though.
But that's like,
Certainly
all right,
first
I know,
try.
I know the mechanics of flying an
I know-
airplane, but
do you?
Yeah, man, you
Yeah, I
just
could
hold the
probably work
thing
my
and then you
way.
pull back on the stick.
Yeah,
and-
that's
I mean, I know the foot placement. I know how to. I know
Yeah,
how to
same.
ollie. I could probably get close.
same.
you could probably do.
All right, I think Steve's overconfident here.
No.
It's like the same.
I'll go
as
get
doing
Haley's
a-
skateboard
a
right now
flip
and do
on
it.
your
So
bike.
for only if you do it in the kitchen. I'm gonna say absolutely none of us will do it first try.
No,
There's the
for
answer.
sure.
I can do a kickflip on a bike,
yeah, right.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
A backflip.
also known as a crank flip.
Oh,
Got him.
crank flip?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant a backflip.
No, I can do a backflip.
I know.
I haven't in
Gage
a
is
while.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, for the fans that don't know, Gage is actually really good.
Gage was a professional.
Gage was
All right,
a pro BMX.
next question.
She will never tell you that, but he was.
All right, next
He's
question.
trying to move away
Uh,
really
I
quick
can't
from this.
hear you. All I hear is the speaking of the microphone, Steve, and I'll
Steve,
answer your
How does
question.
that look?
That looks good.
Take a picture
All right,
for the
next
YouTube
question.
version of it.
Next question. Brad Bitsbib Orcs. Who is the
guy.
tank, healer, and DPS of the pod?
Steve's
I'm
the
more
tank.
of a
I would
quest
100% take the tank role.
You are the
just
tank.
I only played a tank.
I would
You
say
are a tank.
I would say Terry's the healer.
Yeah.
I'm a healer. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
you were the first always in the group chat to be like, "Hell yeah, that rocks. Good job, Steve.
Yeah,
Good job,
that's-
Phil. I love the war paint."
All I say is hell yeah.
Yeah.
This rocks.
I'll-
I
yeah.
have to change
probably-
my vocabulary
Absolutely.
because it just keeps I keep saying
Absolutely.
hell yeah.
Or fuck. We were just talking
That
about this.
rocks.
If you were a
Hell
toy
yeah.
and you had a pull
Oh,
string,
yeah.
it would be hell yeah, that rocks.
Straight up.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh my god!
straight
dude,
up.
these are all
Straight
straight up. Yeah, I say.
But I mean, like, it's also that meme of like when you're with your friends too much, and you all
100%.
you say the same
100%.
things. You all just become the same person.
You absolutely.
So
100%. dude. 100%.
I am tunnel visioning, working on 100% uptime on all of my debuffs and buffs, and I'm standing in the fire because I'm DPS.
And
You're the
Gage
guy.
is screaming
I'm
at
screaming
you.
at you.
oh yeah,
We're never gonna get into top 500 if you don't stop, Phil.
So, what are you then?
Also DPS.
You're the DPS.
Yeah.
And the raid leader.
realistically, yeah, I've always done tank or DPS usually in any sort.
I've always played
any sort
like,
of role playing game.
support DPS too.
Yeah.
You definitely are the healer.
Yeah.
I got something in my eye.
100%.
I think Steve launched a piece of plastic in my eye.
Fuck your eye.
Absolutely, he did.
100%.
Absolutely.
Big boy game time Steve. The homie says, "What are you snacking on?"
Steven.
His name's
okay.
Steven, not Steve.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jesus.
hey, Steven Hupfert.
No,
beep, beep,
he's
beep.
Steve.
You wrote Big Boy Game Steve.
That's true. You did write that. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh my Steve.
BBG, big booty gal Steven. Well, we paused in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
We had
What a great
sausage
question.
and peppers, and we also had peanut butter and jelly
And pretzels.
and pretzels.
Yeah, we were making little sandwiches.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute.
Dude,
Coke
I had a
Zeros.
roll. I had a
Coke
roll. I
Zeros.
cut it in half, and half of it was a sausage and pepper sandwich, and half of it was a PB and J.
Let's go. Shout out to Coke Zero for the sponsorship. Fine.
Yes, thank you.
Dude, I
Thank
wish.
you.
I fucking wish.
Cole asks, who would survive in a Mad Max setting the longest and why?
Me. I would sell myself.
I'm gonna
Who's
only.
got? I don't know. I feel like Steve and Gage both. Actually, no. Everyone here has a lot of good practical skills except for me. I listen.
talking about?
I'm in.
You're the guy who ends up on top. You
Yeah.
become a Morton Joe
I'm-
because you're telling
Yeah.
us what to do.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
And
I
you.
am Encyclopedia Brown, but I have no practical
Doesn't
skills.
matter.
I can't do
Book of Eli.
anything.
Do you ever see that movie?
Yeah, the guy's
Yeah.
blind.
He only wants to be. Whoa, dude! Fucking spoiler.
the dog dies at the end.
He becomes his villain there. I can't think of his name. He is looking for the Bible just so he can command people. That's
Yeah.
you. You're the guy that would be like, you're my henchman because you have these skills.
You're
and
the
I'm
only
just going
one.
to spit words at you because I'm smarter than you.
You're the only one that can spray for ants when the world ends.
It's true. Phil did spray for ants at my
You
house,
have all of the chemicals.
Shout out Exterminatus. If you want to hire Exterminatus, go ahead and hit up Blood Transfusion on Instagram.
Yeah.
He will spray your house for a nominal fee.
I would become some sick, like, servitor kind of guy, just like shambling around, dragging my chains behind me, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be me.
If we're going full Mad Max lore, I think I'd be a Blackfinger. I'd be a mechanic.
Yeah, you would for sure. You're probably like kind of
You fixing my truck so I can run more people
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
You're-
I'd be like the guy who sits in the back. Like I still have like a fucking
spitting
gun
nos into it?
Yeah, I have a gun,
Yes.
and then when your shit starts breaking, I climb up front while you're still going 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take this question and I'm gonna say that we would survive together a very
Yes.
long
There you
time.
go.
We would be Hive Scum in Mad Max.
That would be our gang name. That's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
our
step
gang
to
name.
fucking Hive Scum, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Tyler asks, "What mini projects are you most excited for, and why is it Last War?"
It's Last War.
Yeah,
What
it's
was the
Last
second
War.
part of that?
What?
The answer is Last War.
What did he
Last
say
War?
for the second part?
Why is it Last War?
Oh, that's what a
Because.
coincidence. It's Last War.
Because it is last one.
I think
the
Last
Last
War is just kind of taking. I mean, one, my campaign, but two, it's just refreshing in a context way. Where
Oh
it's-
yeah.
the restrictions are doing things in our brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although
I
this is the
put a lot
Last
of
War.
thought into my last war, guys, but zero effort in the modeling, painting.
You say that, the guy you have that's just swinging a fucking padlock
Yeah.
is the coolest.
Yeah.
But after this game, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I'm never playing it again.
This is
Yeah.
the
If anyone
last.
wants to buy my book,
This is the last.
We're
war.
melting that shit.
yeah,
Well,
After-
that's how it should be.
It's
It's
the
the last
last
war.
This is the last war, and then I'm done. I'm never playing mini games again because this is the last war. But I'm really excited for AOS.
yeah, no, AOS rocks.
Yeah, I can't wait to play more zombies. But this is the last war.
I'm excited for Brothers Prometheum.
Yeah,
To
me
actually
too.
play it. That's about it.
Also, just mini projects in general. I've been actually having a lot of fun making the Inquisitorial Warband for the Rich Grimmond, the Virginia
Grimginia.
Grimginia. You
was
said
that?
you were excited for AOS, which leads into our
Yes.
next question. Andrew Hobby Dungeon asks, could you give a bit of a mechanical detail about the AOS campaign you've been running?
Can't.
That's also Phil.
I'm getting back into
Yeah,
AOS and I need some
I
ideas
can give
for a
a,
good campaign.
a quick brief.
Give Phil a chance to talk. Okay, he never gets to answer these goddamn questions.
him
You
talk.
always
Piece of
skip
shit.
over
I
him.
know.
Let the
I
guy
know.
talk.
Let him talk.
Yeah, let me answer this
Stop
question that is
silencing
literally
Phil.
only for me to answer.
Yeah. Yes. Phil is rubbing his hands
so I-
together like a fucking villain over here. Just excited to say.
Listen, don't
something.
take your role away.
What's the
I
next
can't-
question? Sorry, Phil. Go ahead. Oh, no, he doesn't want.
Maybe now I just don't want to talk.
No, come on, dude.
I don't remember how. I know I talked about it in the last episode.
we did
but-
talk about it.
But I don't know what I said. But so
from the
that I
beginning.
really wanted to just take like the best parts of like matched play just to make narrative stuff feel a lot less slanted. So I took some of the match play rules specifically. One of the ones is the idea of like Galician veterans and Galician champions. So essentially a champion. This is a rule that's used for match play that I'm translating. This is the translated version essentially. So a character, the short of it is a foot character, and the long of it is a
A character with a wounds characteristic of less than 10 that is not mounted and is not a named character. Okay, so that's a defined sort of like subcategory. And those cannot be shot at if they are within 1 inch of a veteran unit. And I'll explain what a veteran unit is shortly.
That's like a lookout, sir.
Yeah, it's essentially adding it. Well, not even a lookout, sir. They just can't be shot at with spells or stuff unless they are further than 1 inch away. And I think that's obviously like something that's like addressed in, I think, the 40K rules.
Yeah.
Like I think you can't shoot at someone with less than 10 wounds unless
that's
they're
how it used to
the
be.
nearest target.
So
how
if
it
my
used
like little necromancer Meton has a bunch of zombies in front of him,
He can't be sniped.
he can't be sniped.
That's correct.
very convenient. He'll still die.
And so the idea of veterans is also just it addresses. All right, so when you have rank and flank, you can kind of say, all right, this many ranks of people can attack. These guys have spears, so maybe 3 ranks of guys can attack. So the problem in like a round-based skirmish game, it's like, well, where not everyone is perfectly lined up. It's like, all right, well, who gets to attack? And so the veterans addresses, so someone, let's say my guy is in base-to-base contact with your guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can attack. And now any model that is 1/2 inch away from my guy can also attack. And any of your guys that are 1/2 inch away from someone that is in base-to-base contact can also attack. So that could be 2 rows of guys. It might only be 1 row of guy, depending on like how they are, stringed along.
So yeah, you can kind of position them in a pretty strategic way where you can get a lot of combat in. You can get a lot of
And so
people attack.
for example, because melee weapons have an attack range, like I said, someone that has maybe in AOS, someone with a spear maybe has like 3 inch range.
Yeah.
So that means that you're already getting probably 2 ranks of guys are probably attacking, and then another row of guys. So those, behind them, that's a 1/2 inch away from them is also attacking. So you're getting, you're still getting the benefit of increased range, but it makes it a more measurable, less ambiguous way, to decide how many guys are attacking.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because so many of the match play rules in AOS should be core rules of the game. And that's what I do think is like happening with 3rd edition. If I can get a little meta right now, is I think like all the like seasonal match play rules is kind of just them beta testing for the next edition.
Yes.
And I think for the most part they're good rules to use. And then on more of the narrative side, I wanted to, in addition to having like a win condition for each player, a unique win condition for each character or player, to still have objective scoring, as in like having different objective markers on the table and, scoring for holding those objectives, so that even if you absolutely fail your win condition, or if both of you fail your win condition, you have a material measurable amount of something to refer to, because the idea is that victory points that you get during the game are translated 1-to-1 to glory points, in addition to the glory points that you gain in your post-game sequence, when you're rolling this and that.
Yeah.
So that way, it ramps up your progression
Yeah.
faster with your army, and it makes it so that a campaign doesn't have to drag on for months and months for you to see any actual growth.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep putting more zombie units.
Just keep putting more zombie.
more and more.
I think you'll find that you're going to hit a wall with how many zombies. Like, are you going to keep wanting to do more? Like,
It's going to be fatigue when he has to move 200 models.
But
yeah.
it's more
I have
just
movement
like
trees for you.
yeah. I also have some movement.
you
traits
already
that I'm
have
gonna
so
use.
many cool sculpts that can just be used as other things already anyway, that are in like a
What do you mean?
Soul
like-
Blight list, like
Oh yeah.
things that are like on, like that big guy that you have with like the snappy.
Yeah, that I want to run as Radikar the Wolf.
Oh, you can run him as Radikar? I would say you could run him as like a Vangorian Lord or something.
Oh,
or-
that's true too.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about running him and then running all those dogs that I make out of the horses.
oh yeah.
All those
So are you
dire
gonna
wolves.
change your sub faction then to the Wolfy guys?
No, I don't honestly really. That's why I always lose these games. Is I'm just like whatever. I don't care. It doesn't. I'm just slapping units
Yeah,
in there that
yeah,
I
yeah.
like,
Same.
and so it's like it doesn't always work. But yeah, no, they'll just have like whatever the dire wolf
Yeah,
role
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I'll probably still run them as Legion of the Night.
than Manfred. I mean, those guys are good.
For a split second, I thought about switching the entire faction over to Flesh Eater Courts because I love the lore, but Flesh Eater Courts, like, they have no units. It's really sad.
it's
kind of
very
army.
similar to
That's the
Fire
thing.
Slayers.
After so the last two armies that are not updated for third edition are cities, which they're getting that big range refresh.
Yeah.
And then the only one that is left, which they said, hey, we have one more book coming out, so obviously it's Flesh Eaters. Flesh Eaters
That's good.
are there. I think they're also going to get a big range refresh because they've had a few models put out for different like skirmish games like Underworlds and Warcry, and they're all fucking incredible looking. They have the little zombie baboons. They have the guy.
Yes. Oh yeah, shit.
The guy
Yeah.
that's wearing like the Texas chainsaw like flesh
Yes.
mask, and he's got like intestines like holding his like cloak together and shit. That to me, when that shit comes out, that'll be my second fantasy army that I start putting together as
Yeah.
Flesh Eaters because those are so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's just like right now I was like, oh, maybe I'll switch it all over to.
But you can
Flesh
still,
Eater
dude,
Courts.
go crazy being just the death guy and like taking allies
I
from
know,
all the
I know.
different shit.
Yeah, and I already am like kind of doing night haunty stuff, but I want to do my night haunt over again.
Your Night Hunt stuff is so cool though because it fits so well into the
Yeah,
lore. That
yeah,
we're
you brought it.
playing
You
with.
did a good job narratively.
No, I think it'll be sweet. I think it'll be kind of fun to bring it in there, but I want to paint them up different. But that's a story for another day. I want to like just kind of spray prime them and do something totally different with them.
So that's really the main gist of what we're doing. We haven't started up,
officially.
officially restarted the
June.
campaign yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
very
June.
soon.
So probably maybe even by the time this episode comes out, we'll
Yeah.
officially have gotten there. But I'm always open to kind of just rolling out new rules in the middle of the thing. Like I don't, not it's not something to take that seriously.
But luckily, Battlescribe is updated, so I'm running 80 zombies.
You have 80 already?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
for sure.
Yeah,
I probably
he
have more. We'll see. I
got
really want
some if you wanna run
120.
more.
I want to run 120.
We'll go
but I don't have the
through your
points
shit
for that.
after we record.
Yeah,
We'll
but
take a look at what you got.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's literally just zombies, and then I have one unit of Vargeist floating
you
around,
go.
just like floating to capture objectives, and also just like kill solo units
Yeah.
that are just like weak out there.
They're fucking strong.
Yeah.
They're good. They heal now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they self-heal.
Yes, which will be really good.
All right, next question.
Next question. Totally Not Panicking asks, ever gone to a seance?
No.
That's an old question.
Yeah.
Seance.
Did you skip a bunch of questions?
No, I will not. I will not fuck around when it comes to that.
Seance stuff?
I went to a ghost hunting thing once. I don't know how legitimate it was though.
What do you mean by a ghost hunting thing? Like
Kook's house.
I'm either having deja vu or we definitely talked about this already.
I don't think we talked about it in the pod. I think that we just talked about it.
Did I talk about Kook's uncle who did bad guy stuff? And
Yes.
no,
I
no,
have
outside
I
of
don't
the
know.
pod.
All
Outside
right,
of
well,
the
you.
pod.
So
I haven't
I'll
heard
tell the
this.
story.
Yeah, tell.
So Kook, his house, he said is haunted, 100%. Like Kook, I don't think is a guy to like lie about that kind of stuff or like make it up. So it's like,
Don't lie
like
to
he's a
Kook.
jokester guy, but I don't think.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
But his mom was there. His mom told us stories about like them when they were kids having weird things.
God,
like
yeah.
his sister talked about it, like being in their bed and turning over and seeing someone in the doorway looking at them.
Crazy.
Like shadow standing in the doorway looking at them. And a friend of ours, Matt, he has a bunch of ghost hunting paraphernalia. I don't know why he has it. He has a bunch of very expensive ghost hunting
Very,
stuff.
very Matt thing to own.
Very Matt thing to own.
like sweet, like beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
beep, like all-
legit.
I know it's not at all a
thing.
ghost hunting thing, but when you
EVP.
said that, I just imagined the big harness with the camera facing you from MTV Sphere.
When you said the beep thing, I thought you were talking about the alien scanner from like Alien.
I wish he had one of those.
Oh no, yeah.
Beep, there's 3 blips. They're in the walls.
Oh my
so
god.
fucking sick.
Terrifying.
But yeah, Matt went to the house and he was just like, we should just like do like a ritual thing.
Oh
And
shit.
like he did the whole 9 yards and like the thing was beeping, going fucking crazy, and like some stuff
No
happened
shit.
that I was like, yeah, you definitely like that's fake. Like Matt at one point had a bunch of like these weird red marks on his back. He's like while we were sitting there
we
doing
mentioned
it.
this. I remember this. This was on the ride
So-
to Winstead R&R store.
Yes,
You were talking about this.
He had like red scratch marks, like someone's nails.
But you were saying they look kind of realistic, right?
It straight up looked like someone clawed
Steve,
his.
it's actually really interesting. Everything bad that's happened to you since is because you did that.
Uh-oh.
What bad thing?
Every single bad thing that's happened in your life
Oh.
is because you were there.
What do you mean?
when you did that seance.
Yep.
No.
You're covered in bad juju.
That's not true. Because
Yeah, like-
Matt did a ritual after to cleanse the house.
Matt doesn't know how to do that. He's
Yeah.
an idiot.
All
That's
of the bad
right.
stuff, like getting this wonderful house that we're in right now, and getting a really cool job as a firefighter, and
Having a wonderful girlfriend.
loving girlfriend.
Yeah,
and
fuck you, Phil.
two great cats running around.
Wow.
Just
Okay, so
bad
maybe you
stuff.
guys are glass half full.
But yeah,
So,
so
what did you have left to say about that?
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Like Matt had these like scratch marks on his
shit.
back which Matt could have just did it himself to just like add to the
I don't
creepy.
know.
Like it was crazy though. Like you could hear stuff like talking back in the voice box and stuff.
Dude,
and, like,
that's sick.
Kook said so. They went back a second time to do it, and I was not there for it. But they said that time there were voices legit talking through the
Holy
voice box
shit.
to them, and like it's haunted by Kook's like uncle or something, another Lucian.
Wow.
And he did like bad guy stuff, like very like abused the family and things like that, and like.
Lucian is very chaos.
Dude,
kinda
Lucian,
guy.
just because I know he's listening, Lucian, that is such an evil sounding name.
It is.
Well-
It's very cool.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucien, the fucking werewolf
Lucian Malfoy.
god. What?
Malfoy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucian
Yeah,
Malfoy.
Draco. Isn't Lucian
It is.
Draco's
That's his
dad?
dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
You don't know Harry Potter?
I've read the first book and saw the first two movies.
Harry.
I will say I've
Dude,
never
Harry
gone to
Potter
a
rocks.
seance, but I did go to a mystic. What's their official?
Psychic?
Thank you.
Just tell you how long your lines were.
No, not to get serious here, real serious.
Yeah, okay.
But the only thing is, I walked in and I sat down, and it was like there was a bunch of other people on it. It was on a BMX trip, and a bunch of other people went in, and they were like, "Yeah, it's fucking crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." I walked in, and someone already paid for me because I wasn't going to do it, and so I sat down, and she goes, "Oh, Gage," like I introduced myself, and she goes, "How long's your father been dead?" I just got up and walked out. I was like, "Fuck you." There's no way you would know that. Like someone had to have
What?
told her or something. It was like, I don't know
No.
if, but I always like look into it and like maybe I had that look on me, like maybe I looked like,
Oh, this motherfucker's dad is dead.
yeah, like some real fucked up thing. Like I don't know, and I could never find out because the people that were before me would not have said anything.
no, right? I mean, that would be a crazy thing to be like, just so you know.
Just so you
next
know,
guy
like,
who's
dude, you
coming
gotta
in.
fuck with him. And
So
I don't know, it was crazy.
That is
Perhaps
crazy.
weird.
not surprising. I take this stuff very seriously.
Yeah,
Well, I am a science-minded person. I don't have one belief, one way or another, about like the paranormal. But I think it is a very good practice to err on the side of caution with that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Phil, do you want to ask the question from Blur's Craft since it's not on here?
Yeah, sure. So 2 quick questions. First one is from the boy Blurs. Follow Blur's Craft on YouTube.
Yes, amazing.
Discussion on Greek physician Hippocrates' theory of the 4 temperaments and its relationship with humors and the 4 hive scummers. Okay, so quick. Terry is sanguine.
Why?
Because blood?
All right.
Yeah, you got.
I'm trying to make this quick.
All right, well,
gotta
so
break it
say
down.
over it
Wait,
again.
what is
All
all
right.
this stuff? What are you talking about?
All right, so
These
the
are
4
words I
all
had
right,
never
so this
heard
is like this is like ancient Greek, like sort of like philosophical idea of like personalities.
I
and
thought
this
you were
sort of
going to
shit.
read that question out
And how-
and be like, haha, I don't know what any of this means. You know what Blurs is even asking.
I had to double check because I couldn't remember what each one represents, but
Because that was a long
but they are-
list of words I don't know.
so the idea of humors, it's some shit like different like bodily fluids are representative of your personality type.
Oh, sweet. So I am blood.
So you're saying you're sanguine. Gage is phlegmatic. I'm melancholic, and
phlegm?
Steve is choleric.
All right, now break
That's
down
all
what that
you gotta
even
go
means.
in.
What are the words?
All right.
What are the fluids?
Yeah, you talking shit right now?
All right,
dude?
Terry, sanguine. He's playful. He's sociable. He's carefree, and he's hopeful.
Dude, honestly,
Gage,
that's pretty good,
phlegmatic. He's reasonable, calm, principled, steadfast.
Nice.
Bro. Honestly, yeah, that's pretty
Steve.
much.
Steve is choleric. He is impulsive, histrionic. No, he's active. He's excitable. Yeah, impulsive is good.
Yeah, honestly,
Then,
very good.
I mean, I guess I'm just being self-deprecating when I'm making myself the melancholic one, but I am anxious and suspicious and thoughtful.
I would
Yeah.
say so.
oh man, dude, honestly, yeah, we kind of hit all.
Yeah,
four of them.
we do hit all 4.
And then the one other question that I saw is from Adam, aka Knifehead. Your favorite locking out hardcore band? So I would say classically, it would have to. Well, historically, we'll say Righteous Jams, but I really like Rival Mob and I really like War Hungry.
War Hungry would be my
War Hungry.
Moshers unite.
Moshers unite.
All right.
All right. Well,
there was a second part to that.
or your favorite Bolt Thrower album or song.
I really like the new one. Those Once Loyal. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all the old stuff like Realm of Chaos.
I
Everything's
didn't
really
even know
good,
that there was new Bolt Thrower.
Well, newer. Like, it's not new, but
It's
new-ish.
20 years old instead of 30 years old.
No. It's
What-
like within the past couple of years.
Really?
Here, let me pull it up. I don't know where my phone is. Never mind.
What do you got going on over there?
Yeah, we're frantically looking up.
Locking out.
Always the Hard Way is a fucking perfect album. So
Yeah.
uh,
Would you just
Also-
go to Discogs and look
I
at?
did literally.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Righteous Jams is a perfect.
I mean,
band.
Living Hell. Shout out Connecticut Hardcore.
Locking
Locking Out is just New. That's probably why he asked because it's a New England label.
Yeah, Adam's like a hardcore guy.
Go figure.
weird.
Oh, the wrong side. That'd be a good choice.
Wrong side is good. The answer is War Hungry, though. If you say anything else, you're wrong.
No, it's Righteous Jams.
No, you're wrong.
Line of Judah. Yeah, I'd go the wrong side.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
All
I mean,
right.
I don't know. I don't even know if I have a good answer for this. Cold World was on that list.
Oh yeah, shit.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still
all
would
right.
pick
Cold,
War
yeah.
Hungry.
Cold World is probably I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah, I was like, this is kind of. It's like a long list. I actually didn't realize it went so deep.
Yeah,
Neither did I until we just looked.
they're a prolific label.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question we have is from Apocrypha Now, who I didn't know listened to this podcast. He's like a important, cool guy.
Ben, right?
Yeah.
Ben's his name.
He's a cool guy.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, one of our 3 listeners.
Yeah, one of the 3. How many models in a skirmish game?
Like the best amount?
Yep.
5.
3 to 5.
I say 5 to 10.
Really?
But I like bigger.
Yeah, you're a
the more
sick
I'm a
fuck.
sick fuck. Get as much shit on the table as you can.
I would say I can even do less than 5 if I wanted to. Like,
No,
I could
yeah,
just-
3 to 5.
3 to 5 is a good answer, but 5 is such a good number of you have units to not give a fuck about,
Yes.
and then you have your 3 that you.
Let's take the average. 4.
Arena Rex is like 3 to 5, and that's a pretty tight game if anyone's
Yeah,
ever played
I'm-
it.
well, it's like
not-
Gaslands. It's like a 50 can team is 2 to 3 to maybe you could squeak in a 4th in
right.
there, but it's probably 2 to 3 vehicles, and it's like I think that feels dynamic enough. People have enough things to do, but it doesn't feel like we're waiting forever to get to the next round of turns. Or
I
whatever.
rewrote Flames so you can only play with 3 mechs.
Yeah.
Because anything more than that is too much going on.
It just
well,
gets
it's too
bogged
much going
down.
on if you're doing alternating actions.
I will also say in a game where you have to track things on like a sheet, like Gaslands or Flames or
Yeah.
something where there's like an active, not currency, but that's the word I'll use for like.
Yeah, like you have to tell like
thank you.
who's been activated and who hasn't.
Well, not even that, but like in Gaslands, you're collecting audience votes, or like
Yes.
in Flames, it's heat you're managing, stuff like
Yeah.
that. That definitely needs to be like 3.
Yeah, something that you're
Yes.
checking off on a little
Yeah,
piece of paper.
if it's like Kill Team where it's just like this guy moved and shot,
Yeah.
then you could do 5 to 10 even.
Dude, the audience votes mechanic of Gaslands is so fucking cool,
It's
and it
very
won
sick.
me that
Yeah,
game
it
that
did,
time.
yeah.
Where I was like, I have 3. Can I just do this where I like automatically up a gear and I got another turn across the finish line, dude? That was so sick.
I think it's really funny how Gaslands, it's very loose with the rules. Like you could do that thing. It didn't say
It
you could just
is.
do it at any point.
And
Like,
it isn't. I would say Gaslands is self-aware of how good of a game it is.
Yeah,
That's why.
But it
that's
is-
why Terry is almost the world champion.
He will
Yeah,
be.
almost. We saw Wiggly Fingers again for all the.
Oh, you
all-
did?
Yes.
Well, we saw him. He was playing like something.
No, we
silly. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe
no.
Conquest or something.
He was playing that fucking boat game all the way in the back corner of
Dreadfleet.
Oh, was he playing that Armada?
No, I think it was like the
You know, yeah.
you're not talking about not a
Sales of Power or
GW, not the
something?
GW one, right?
no,
No, it's like Sales of Adventure, Sales of
Yeah.
Power. Or
the
something like
Mantic
that.
one.
the
Maybe?
not
Yeah, what is that called?
Dreadfleet is the Mantic.
no,
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 it's
no.
not
It
Dreadfleet.
was the not cool looking one.
Yeah, it's the one where you're literally playing ships in a bottle, but they're
Yeah.
just on the table. Like it's very like
Yeah, it was
is
like
that called?
sales of stupid game or something.
Years ago.
Sales of stupid game.
Yeah.
I think that was what it's
18
called.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
All right, so
How many more we got?
Yeah.
I've got 4 more that we can. Or
Yeah, we'll
5 more we
blast
can
through,
blast
then we'll go
through.
play some games at TBS.
Yeah. What are we playing today, by the way?
I thought we were hobbying. I brought shit to work.
I already I
down to
finished my
hobby,
hobby.
too.
My tank is done.
Well, we had to switch the fucking studio up, Steve, for your
Yeah.
weak immune system, and you get to hobby, and we have to be
Yeah, we're watching
podcasters.
it.
Well, I have a finished tank to show for it.
I'm down to just bash here. We could just spill out the bits
We
on
could
the
go
table.
a
and
well,
bash.
game.
Yeah,
Or
I
we
need
go
to buy.
game.
I need to buy paint at TVN.
Yeah, I'd love to buy the new Battletone.
I love to heckle over there too. Like,
Yeah.
give everyone.
Yeah.
a
Oh,
hard time.
Dakota's working. We can bully him.
Dakota's
I
working.
love bullying.
I
Dakota.
love bullying children.
I freaking love Dakota. Just
We could
full stop. I
spit
love
roast him.
Dakota.
He was really upset last time we were there bullying.
we
him.
were being too silly.
well, it was really late at night, and I got really goofy.
we found a box of spent bullets.
Yeah.
Casings
yes,
underneath
yes, yes.
one
We were
of
using
the
them as
tables.
markers.
We
We
were
kept
using them as
throwing them
activation
at Dakota.
tokens and throwing them.
Dakota was like, "Can you pick these bullets casings up off the ground?"
No.
No, Dakota, that's your job.
Very American to just walk into an establishment. There's bullet casings on the floor. You know?
Yeah, it's fine.
There's a gun store next door. from
Yeah.
there,
Well, it doesn't mean that he shot
Probably
the place up.
two.
They might have.
Lucian, our friend, asks, ever plan to do a 40K Path to Glory / narrative campaign?
I swear to God, this has been asked by him
It's been asked,
specifically
no,
like
never
5
answer
times.
it.
Maybe he asks
Really?
every time.
He has
it's a
given
bit.
us shit every time we see him because we have not answered his question.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
dude, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, the 40K version is called Crusade,
Yes.
and
There isn't a hero creator though. Therefore, I do not care.
I would 1,000% play a sick.
Yeah, dude,
40K
absolutely.
I would love to,
'Cause that
especially
gives
with the
me
hype
a-
for 10th edition, which is kind of what Rory asked too about 10th edition.
I'll play
but-
Brothers.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, it would be
Yeah.
fun to just play, like, it would be fun to play, like, oh, I'm playing Dark Eldar, but I'm just making up my own.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the sort of the narrative vibe is in the 10th edition rulebook, because I'm sure obviously it'll have a section for
Do
narrative
you-
play.
Because I know,
But I'll run that shit.
I think people keep saying that the new 10th edition is more, or 9th edition is actually more Age of Sigmar-esque than 10th will be.
But how's that?
I don't know. I'm not one of those people, but I'm wondering if they learned from the Path to Glory of Age of Sigmar.
I'm sure
and
they
are
did.
putting it into
Yeah,
10th.
totally.
Yeah, people like rolling on tables. That's why people like Mordheim.
Yeah.
That's why Path to Glory is fun.
I would love to do a crusade. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
But like
Me
Steve
too.
said, it's got to have like Anvil.
We could take the Anvil. And
We
just
should.
port it to.
I mean,
Crusade.
they've
I
done
have.
it. We've
Yeah,
done it.
if you
for
already
that.
have it.
Yeah, let's
If
just
you
do
want
it.
it, you can subscribe to our Patreon.
if
and
you
it's on
want
there.
it, you can
Dude,
have it.
we make jokes, but this is episode number 9.
Next episode is the Patreon episode.
Next episode is when we were like, okay,
We hit the
if we're gonna
paywall.
do it, we're going to do it episode number 10. So I guess we'll have more.
There's gonna be some big shit for episode time.
Yeah, we'll have some more.
Yeah, well, we better
information
start
next
thinking
time.
about it then.
I literally I'm like, oh fuck, we actually have to like
Our
figure this
Lamborghini
out.
payments are coming up.
Yeah, they are due soon.
We got to milk you fuckers for everything it's worth.
yes, all 3 of you.
All 3
Give
of
us
you.
as much money as you can.
All right, next question.
we don't lose our Italian sports cars.
Cody, Steve put Cody, Texas Bug Lady.
oh, nice.
I love Cody.
Cody rocks. Cody, Texas Bug Lady asks, guilty pleasures, music or otherwise.
Candy.
Steve's definitely candy and Coke Zero.
No,
Steve's guilty.
I'm not guilty about
Steve's-
eating candy. I feel guilty. Drinking this. Huh.
4th Coke Zero of the day. Not guilty about it.
3rd.
Yeah. I would have to say an inhuman amount of popcorn. Steve and I both share that love.
That's not guilty though for me. It has to make you feel guilty.
I feel guilty because I just feel like shit afterwards.
I don't.
Yeah. That's for.
Guilty.
I know what Terry's about to say.
I literally was like, I don't have any guilty pleasures, and I'm like, Black and Milds, baby. It's like every time I'm like, this is just bad for me, and I'm like, but I'll do it anyway. It's awesome. Oh my god, constantly.
What's Phil's?
Oh god.
I don't know, drugs.
Marijuana.
Yeah. I mean, musically, I don't know. Dude, I fucking
Earth
love.
Eater?
I don't feel guilty about any music I listen to.
Same.
Yeah,
I'll
I mean, I
fucking
feel
punish
like
anyone in the car.
feeling guilty about the things that you like is a very I don't want to say juvenile, but I don't know. I feel like it's something I've kind of outgrown.
I've gotten into Alan Watts lately.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, you should feel guilty about that. I was just fucking around. No, I love Alan Watts.
But his whole like experience everything fully, deeply. Don't feel guilty about anything.
yeah.
You literally don't exist for any reason. Just
And when you die, you're gone. So like what you like.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You are
No, he was
the
sick
universe. Yeah, but
I love him.
you should not feel guilty about anything.
Sanctu Filii.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of
Way, way,
Bare
Find Me
Naked
Now.
Ladies. Their albums are really good.
Good.
It's great stuff.
Yeah,
But-
no,
but
you should
that's-
feel guilty about that.
Yeah, guilty
I've
as
been
far as
listening
music
to
wise.
Blood Meridian, and it sucks. So I stopped.
Wow. Wow.
I feel guilty that I'm not intelligent enough to listen to that
I
book.
know.
Sorry,
I voted for Roadside Picnic.
I voted for Do Androids Dream of Electric
Sheep. Yeah,
Two sheep. Dream
I'll
of
read that
Electric
book
Android.
to you. I've read it so many times.
Well, I want to
that
just
book.
Really?
read it
Yeah.
fully
It was. I mean,
deeply.
myself.
it's Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's just Blade Runner.
Wait.
Well, it's what Blade Runner.
Okay, stop. Don't. We cannot put him on this path.
Next question.
Next question is
Android
no.
Dream.
Next question. No. Next question is what secondary hobbies do you have? Do they prevent hobby burnout? Says Quicksos was right. Do they
I
prevent
got a
hobby
list, but I'll go last.
Yeah, I make noise music. It's fun and silly.
Yeah, you can follow him at stone.jaw.
Yeah, make weird stuff like that.
What's your secondary
What's your
hobby?
secondary hobby, Phil?
Cryptids?
I don't know.
Killing
That's not a
ants.
hobby. I mean, it generally just.
You sit and read
That's
the
a
Bigfoot
hobby.
Yeah.
website.
That's not a
Okay,
hobby.
that's not
it's
a hobby.
my
Just
fucking life. is
Listen,
what he's about to
reading,
say.
I don't want to listen. Reading is not a hobby, and first off, cryptids is not having an interest in something doesn't make it a hobby. A hobby is like an active thing that you do.
If you're actively reading it in your downtime, it's a hobby.
Well, I read about everything.
So
I'm a hoarder.
What
of
are you
knowledge.
reading about lately?
I mean, Bigfoot. No, I mean I don't know. Well, I don't know. People that know me know that the number one thing that I like and want to do is travel. So
Yeah,
no
that's
matter
true.
where you are in the world, if you put me up on your fucking couch, I will come to where you are.
Get rid of that lawn
He will
chair.
come.
I will come to where you are.
He will come.
I will come.
He will come.
Steve, secondary hobbies.
Firefighting.
No, that's
saving
not a hobby.
lives.
That
Steve
is a
sets
job.
fires for
I
hobbies.
get
I mean,
paid
yeah.
to do that.
He saves lives, people.
That is my job. I really like. I just like working on games has been really fun,
You're
even though it's
really
like
fucking
adjacent.
good at it. I was telling Sarah the other day, I'm like, I don't know if Steve knows how good he is at that. You're really good.
I appreciate
Oh.
that. I put a lot of effort
I don't
into
know why
it.
I just totally. I mean, I totally spaced on one. Is that I started? I mean, I've definitely shared this before, but because I wanted to do a homebrew campaign for D&D, and I was just like, well, I got too squirrely about it because I'm like, well, I've never fucking DM'd before, or
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can
yeah,
totally do it.
but I still feel like I want to DM a module before I go that deep in it. But I was just like, all right, well, I got to start writing something for a campaign, and then I got really lost in the sauce and the world building, and that in and of itself just becomes a
Totally.
hobby.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So eventually, I'll do something with it.
And you're good at that from
Do
what
you
I've seen.
do you actually write the stuff down?
I have a lot of really disorganized notes.
You
yeah.
have, so get a journal.
A journal.
Yeah.
Physically
okay.
writing things down and breaking it into pages is huge. I do a
It's
lot
so
of
good for your brain.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I
Puts it
have
in
notes.
its
I
own
just don't know
categories.
how to organize it.
Well, that's the
Dude,
thing.
what I want to do is figure out how to just get a private wiki or something.
Use Google
cool.
Docs.
No. Tiddly Wiki.
I don't know
I will share with you after the podcast,
All right.
and anyone
All
that
right.
wants to know. My 7-year D&D campaign, Tiddly Wiki.
Tiddly.
Yeah, you create your own wiki,
Okay.
and links will hyperlink to certain things.
Oh,
Beautiful.
dude.
So if you forget,
That's
you're like,
fucking
oh,
sick.
where was Starmourner actually within this universe? You could click Starmourner and it'll link to his page, and it'll have everything in there. And then when you click that, it'll link over
nice.
to
I'm gonna do
Apophis,
that
the
for
Black
Brothers.
Dragon. And then when you click Apophis, it'll go to his story, and then it'll go to his disciples, and you click
Wow.
disciples, and yeah,
Like a wiki?
like a wiki.
Woo!
I'm gonna do that for
pretty cool.
Brothers. That's gonna change.
I will
my game
show you
for-
guys after this.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'm sorry for interrupting whomever I was.
It was Steve.
Steve.
was
Because
I
we were talking about how good of
Terry
a
was
game maker
yeah.
you are.
Terry was jerking Steve off.
Dude, it's fucking
I
true though.
appreciate it.
Well, I've been trying to do this one-page game jam, and I'm like, it's like my brain does not work when I try and do it. And then Steve is like, I did Sasquatch in 2 hours on a ride to to New
was
York,
an hour.
and I was like, I'm like, fuck, it's so good. Though.
Yeah, but we went over
I know
it.
we
You
went
got
over
it.
and you know what? We went over it, and Steve gave me in about 5 minutes 12 different ideas, and I'm like, "Fuck, Steve, how did you come up with all that shit?"
You know what it is, Terry? You got to play more games.
I mean,
I
maybe
don't
that's
play
it.
games though.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I'll read them.
Yeah, but
And by reading,
Terry,
I skim them. I skim the pages. I'm
You
like,
and I-
that's cool.
only became friends. I only gave you the time of day because when
Wow.
we were playing Commander at Terry Fest, you said, "Do you know Exalted Funeral?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And I immediately listed 3 games, and you immediately knew what they were. And I went, "This is my homie for life.
Yeah.
He knows everything that I know, and he plays fucking games." So
Shout out DH.
Oh, Dave Hoskins.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Dave
I
Hoskins.
was like,
Please get back to me.
DH Dick Hunter.
Dick Hunter.
Hunter.
no, Dota.
Dab hitter.
That was Base Hunter.
Yo, Base Hunter.
Base nectar. You guys are sick. These are my
Dude, that
friends.
video
I feel
rocks.
you, man.
That video rocks. He's just in the dark basement with some girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
playing
some
Dota.
very bored girls.
That album that song is actually on. I listened to the whole album. It's the exact same beat, so, like everything. He just swaps the fucking words.
That's so cool.
And all the videos.
he probably
are just
made $1
him with-
million.
Oh, he made more than that, and it's just beautiful women and him. Just
Good for him, man.
all right. 2 more questions. We can.
You didn't even give us your hobby.
Yeah.
What? Oh, guilty pleasure.
No.
Your hobby.
Secondary hobbies.
Secondary
Where are
hobby.
we?
BMX for bike riding.
No, I blew my shoulder out and I can't do it anymore.
That's not true. You can do it again.
I can, but
Gage is antsy right now. He doesn't want to
scared.
be doing this anymore.
We have to start
no,
training.
I'm not antsy at all. We can go all day, but no one's going to listen to this. What secondary hobby do I have? I don't know. What do I do? I really like 3D printing. I
Yes.
love the minutia of that.
You're very good
Bridgman
at it.
Printing has been open. The books are open. If you have 3D printing needs, Gage can print them
Please
at a
don't.
nominal cost.
A very large project came up and it's very cool, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, but yeah, I know. I really like 3D printing. It kind of goes in line with like all my machining background. I don't know. I don't know if I have
Gage is a
You have
dungeon
a lot.
master.
Yeah,
Big-time dungeon
okay,
master.
that's-
You
I've
have like
literally
so many hobbies. If
well,
you
yeah,
want me
that's
to
just-
name them, I can.
That's just severe ADHD. Yeah, name them.
I have the same
right.
problem.
3D printing for sure.
Yep.
You're a fucking collector
Yes.
of a lot of stuff.
hoarding.
No, but that's still that is a hobby. You are you have more Dungeon Synth fucking tapes than anybody I know.
Okay. Yes.
You have you have a fair bit of records too.
Yes. Most of them are hidden, but yeah.
You have more games than anybody I know. Like more than they have at the
You have
local
double my
game
wall of
store.
games.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, but to be fair, a third of those are from Danny.
You have a ton of vintage D&D shit. Like
Yes.
a ton of
Yes.
that.
Shout out to Phil. I just got another one today.
I mean,
What did I do?
Is that the Monster Manual?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
a good book.
one.
Yeah.
you
No.
are a ex-professional BMX bike rider, and like you can't even discredit that.
Okay. Yes.
You have a machinist background, which is like super interesting.
Gamer. He's a raid leader.
You play Raid Shadow Legends.
Correct.
That like as your full-time job.
Yeah. To be honest,
Oh, and then Sega Top Skater. You're the
You're the
best.
world champion.
No.
You're the world champion Sega Top
shout
Skater.
out Justin for getting that out of my fucking
Shout out
house.
Justin.
So yeah, I don't know. I think you have a fair bit going on.
Strongest man
I
in
do.
Connecticut.
Strongest man in Connecticut. He when he came to pick up the arcade cabinet, for anyone that if this doesn't get cut, the
It won't.
I had 1997 Sega Top Skater arcade cabinet.
How much does that weigh?
It weighed 1,100 pounds.
And he picked it up himself.
And, yep.
Wait, what?
He came. So when I got it out of this other guy's house for free, which at time I was like, "Oh, this is so sick! He's giving me this cabinet for free,"
yeah.
not realizing it was a fucking curse, and it
Yeah.
was stuck in my house forever. It took 6 of us struggling our asses to get this thing out of this guy's house and into 2 different trucks to take it. But this guy Justin came and he said, "Yeah, I would love to take this." He came and looked at it. He said, "I would love to take this, but you have to wait. I'm competing in the World's Strongest Man tournament, like qualifier."
Wait, are you fucking kidding me?
next week, and I can't blow out my back for it. So he went and competed. He qualified, so now he can actually compete in the World's Strongest Man things.
Wait, so you're not fucking around that this guy came and picked it up himself?
Him and I moved it. I mean, okay, first of all, it was on wheels, so it was a
Yeah,
little
okay,
easier.
okay.
But getting it into the truck, yeah, it was me positioning it and him just putting it onto the lift. So
Whoa.
it,
What does
it
this
broke
guy
in-
look like?
He is.
He looks like a world's strongest man.
Yeah, I was going to
He's a
say
beefcake.
just fucking veins popping out everywhere.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. He's like one of those guys from the meme that's like, "You go, king."
Danny asks, "What's your favorite color of paint that you always go to for, and why?"
Rattling Grime.
Rattling Grime. Steve loves contrast paint.
Well, I love Rattling Grime because the color that you could paint your whole army in Rattling Grime and then dry brush the metallics and it looks done.
For the same reason, I love Warplock Bronze.
Yes.
I like Warp Black Bronze.
Yes.
Because you could highlight it or dry brush it with a gold, and it'll make it look like a grimy gold. Or if you highlight it with a silver, or dry brush with a silver, or any highlight, whatever, it'll bring it back down to like a grungy silver.
Is that what you
Steel.
did for your Custodes?
Grimdark Custodes?
They
Yeah.
look so good.
I really like Nazdrag Yellow.
Yes, you do.
So sick.
It's a great
Yeah.
yellow.
I'm actually going to pick some up today because of you.
I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go with Vallejo Silver Gray because it's like
It's a great color.
it's just a good color. It's like a very boring but I use it on everything because I think it's a really good highlight color.
Yeah,
Shout out, not
I do use that on my Beastman skin. I use that.
Yeah.
So
I have
it's-
backup colors, but I don't want to get.
Let's
crazy.
just what's like our favorite colors?
Burnt sienna from Monument.
Oh, green.
No, I just mean like colors.
I like
green and red.
I like red.
one that can't be perceived by the human eye.
What is it?
I don't know.
Shrimp.
Color out of space.
You're like
Color
the
Out of
shrimp.
Space.
Oh,
Great movie.
dude. Great.
Steve
short
obviously
story.
wasn't paying attention during it.
Oh,
next
are we ending
next
on
question.
Are we ending on a cryptocrylic question?
We are.
Yes.
Yeah, but one before that.
Oh.
Chris Griffin asks, I need each
another
of you to make a kissy. So we have a sound of your mouth moves. All right, now that we lost all three listeners, Chris Acrylic asks,
Yes.
My man.
and we are finishing the podcast on this because it's getting warm in here.
But I do love Cole Griffin. I mean, Chris Griffin too, and Cole Griffin.
Wow. I'm sure
Chris
they've heard
and
that
Cole.
their whole life. Getting
Cole,
mixed up.
our guest speaker today.
Yes, I'm not putting that part in. I'm not cutting any of this.
We should
shit.
add that at the end.
Even
though.
the-
you should clip it so it's at the
I'm
end.
not
of
cutting
it.
any.
Even
of
the
this shit.
sketchy shit that you guys said.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you were like, "Please cut this."
Please,
I
Tim.
really.
Please. All right.
Somebody
so
will kill me if you don't.
the final question, Chris Acrylic asks, how much game should you play before trying to write your own? I've barely played any skirmish games, but I'm really inspired by the idea of them, and I have a few ideas of my own. I don't know if it's better to play a bunch of other games and come back to it and risk just making something derivative of another game I've played, or go into it without any outside influence to try and make something entirely original.
I say go without any outside influence
And why?
because I think that's a cool way to do it.
I think
It's like
either way
it's like the having no. From what he said, I think having like
Having
like going into
no
experience.
outside context or no outside context, no prejudices, no
Yeah.
like preconceived notions.
I have friends,
But that's not how I do it.
in bands
Yeah.
that refuse to listen to the genre that they tour on.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, music
that
is
reason.
so stupid. So, and people
I mean,
who
it's like
make
real,
music are even stupider.
Especially when it's their job.
Yeah.
I would say either way though, you can get there.
I very different opinion, and I think you should play as many games as possible to know every mechanic, and then pick the ones that you think are best.
It
Because
makes
then,
the best game.
what is true to you as a person. If Gage loves
That was my Discord.
if Gage loves mechanics about exploration and starvation and hex crawls, his game is going to have those, and you know that this game is so much of Gage, or like
Oh, that's true. I didn't
yeah.
think about that.
So it's more.
Yeah,
of
I
like
would
a-
say even play non miniatures games, like other sort of like
Yes.
board game, tabletop games. Like I always think
Monopoly.
about some of like the fucking stupid ass games that we've played at your house,
yes,
like that map game.
Quiet Year.
oh,
Quiet,
Rob.
I'm
Quiet
bringing
Year.
that. I'm bringing that on our vacation.
I loved Quiet
we
Year.
are
Yeah.
forcing non-gamers to play it,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good game for non-gamers.
especially. I mean, we played it with a non-gamer, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
had
games-
some very silly ideas.
Oh,
that
we were getting
games-
so silly. It was
yeah,
so much
games
fun.
that are just a creative exercise more than
Yes.
like a competitive thing are I think are very cool.
Yeah. I also think that like
What was that last one I fucking hated because I was so bad at it? That free association. No, I love that. The one was like cards and you had to guess. It was like a seance thing.
really?
Oh, I did not like that.
Oh,
game.
Mysterium?
No,
Only because it's like-
no. I don't think you guys were there for it. It was.
I wasn't there.
Maybe no, you weren't there.
With the level, the tiers,
Turkey game?
and you look at the card, and it's
Yeah.
like an image, and you had to
Had
guess
the
what.
tiers.
Oh, Mysterium. Yeah,
Yeah, I did
I
not
thought
like
you were
that.
talking about the narrative game we played Once Upon a Time.
No, I like that too.
Yeah,
I have
You won.
Mysterium, and I always want to play it.
I think I was this close to winning, and then I think Danny or someone else
Yeah.
like pulled it out of their ass.
But Chris Krillick has also mentioned like risk making something that's derivative of something else. Everything
gives
is
a fuck?
everything is
Your
derivative.
favorite band?
Everything
Another
in
band already.
everything
100%,
yeah.
in human history is
Yeah.
derivative.
Yes.
I think it's even better
What's
to
the
take
story?
something you like and then just make it again with what you want in it.
The problem isn't being derivative because again, everything is derivative. It's making it so good that people forget or don't notice that it's derivative.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why I always think like when you think of like tropes and storytelling.
Hero of a Thousand Faces.
Yeah, I don't think that there is anything wrong with tropes. I think going out of your way to subvert tropes is try hard shit.
100.
I think if you lean into tropes successfully, you are doing.
Well, it's the theory too that if it's just human nature,
Yeah.
the tropes are what humans.
They are
desire.
they are reflective of yeah.
Yeah.
So this goes back to like Brothers of Prometheum.
Yeah.
I love Forbidden Psalm. I love Last War. Those games inspired that game because without those games existing, I wouldn't have a system to build off of. My game only exists because of something that's already been done, tried and true, and I just want to add something to that world. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like taking D&D and adding your own supplements or homebrew stuff.
Yeah.
It's all cool in their own.
I thought of one today actually to steal. Do you ever play Force and Destiny, the Star Wars game, the Star Wars Fantasy Flight's RPG system?
That's not Edge?
Edge of Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Yeah,
same
I did
system.
play it with their weird dice mechanics.
Yeah, those mechanics are.
It's janky, but
It's a little
fine.
janky, but it's fun. But they have a sick mechanic where narratively you have like was it the Force dice or the Force?
Yes.
So Terry, big Star Wars guy. In the mechanic, you can have like a narrative coin that like, oh, I give this to the players. They can change the story once they use this coin as a currency. It's like the light force and then the dark force.
But it sways.
But you can use that in like anything where like, oh, I go ahead and whatever you roll, like the next time you do a challenge, you get a nat 20 on it. Good for you. Awesome. Whatever you want. But the second you give it to me, now I can make you do a nat 1 in the future. Or anyone in the
Yeah.
party gets a nat 1.
What does this have to do with Star Wars?
This is from the game system.
Their
from
mechanic
Fantasy
is
Flight.
kind of
You see that video of it's from the King's coronation and it's set to like the Imperial March.
yes.
It's good. It's funny. Dun, 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 dun.
Petering out. We're petering out. And we have to go play games. Peter. Yeah, Chris Acrylic, make whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you can't.
If you want help, just reach out to the Discord because
Yes.
there's a million people there that
Yeah.
will help
Yes.
you.
Rip anything else off and make up your own shit too. Do it all.
This goes to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, if going back to Brothers of Prometheum, the idea of it was me wanting to
And also,
be Mad
if
Max.
if you design something and you aren't satisfied with it and you think it sucks, fucking do something else. Grab
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's actually so from Thomas Piernet, the Mordheim creator.
Yeah.
Yep. Tommy P.
He did
Seminar?
a seminar last
Yeah.
week. One of the main points was literally that.
Don't be afraid to cut.
Like,
And
it
cut
sucks.
a lot.
Like you get to a point and it sucks. Well, then your game probably sucks and just
Yeah,
start
scrap
over.
it, take stuff that you like from it, and move on.
Exactly.
The creative process doesn't have to.
It's not a straight line.
Yeah, it's not a straight line.
yeah,
You know that, Chris. You're an artist.
Chris is amazing. I love that fucking guy.
If he
I love all of our Chris's.
better be at Adepticon next year again. He better come to Nemo.
He better
not
be just. He better move to New England.
I feel like every episode is just rehashing a third of every other episode.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Isn't that life? Thanks for checking out this episode of Hivescom. If you're not already a part of the community, take a look at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description. If you have any further questions that you'd like to ask us, you can either ask us on our Instagrams, which are also listed below, or over at In Rust We Trust. To end us off today, we have a wonderful phone call from our friend Cole, which you can find on Instagram at Colsifer28, spelled out Roman numeral style. Until next time, my friends, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.
How you doing,
I
buddy?
am
I'm
now.
doing just fantastic.
Wonderful. I just had a quick question for you. Who's your favorite member of Hive Scum podcast?
You know, I lie awake every night thinking about the answer to this question. And I don't have a good answer. If we're basing it on most handsome, it's got to be Terry.
Yeah.
Oh!
Bald
If
is
we're
beautiful.
basing it on who I feel the safest in their arms, it's probably Steve.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
That's
okay.
true.
If we're basing it on looks alone, I mean, there's just something animalistic about Phil that you can't really get past.
It's true.
Okay.
Spectacular.
In terms of long-term security, I'm gonna have to say Gage. You know, that edge runs deep, and I just feel like
That's true.
I could count on him in the long run.
That's true.
That's excellent. Cole, thank you so much for calling into the Hive Scum podcast.
Yes, thank you, Cole, for calling.
Yeah, thank you for dialing the number
you
and calling
called
us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bless you all.
Okay, bye. Love you.
So that was Cole calling in.
Cole.
At Colsifier28.
You
if you
probably
wanna-
are familiar with him.
If you would like to call in, you can reach us at hivescum@gmail.com or at 860.
Nice.
Oh, never mind. I was going to be really funny, but Gage's phone number doesn't actually pull up a number when I type his name.
Oh.